yeah, unfortunately, pretty red afternoon, specifically for the NASDAQ, specifically for tech stocks, although the Dow is trying ever so desperately to hold on to positive territory at this point. I feel like it's not going to be able to, but hey, there's still time left. 0.03 only left right now for the Dow. 0.41 there for the S&P. It is tech that has been leading all day long. The NASDAQ down 1.2% at this point today. Here in Toronto, TSX about 0.5% in negative territory. A lot of that having to do with a bit of a reversal on some energy names. I'll show you the board here in a sec. In the U.S., we're actually seeing still a little bit of positivity in oil producers, however. Bitcoin now red on the day. Ethereum still holding on to 1%. It was a lot higher than that. Yeah, there's the energy group in the U.S. anyway, still holding on to some that are positive. Anyways, a few have gone red. Halliburton, one of those, down 1.3%. Utilities jumping off the board here. The entire group glowing green. Very, very positive day for utilities. The overall market would be a lot worse off without this move coming through. Here's the healthcare group as well. A few individual names downside, but otherwise helping to offset an otherwise pretty negative board. MKTX, notable decliner there in the financials. Earnings name, they also, their guidance was a mess. Not a good report. 13.4% to the downside. Worth noting some positivity in insurance specifically. Otherwise, though, banks are also downside. Tech is red. Industrials also. These two have been kind of sharing the load as far as the selling is concerned all day long. Continues to be that way at this point this afternoon. I was just going to check which Rollins Incorporated, whatever that is, apparently still positive on the day, but the rest are very, very negative. 5.8% for Deere in negative territory leading the way. Down here, it's been these clean energy semiconductors, ENPH and SEDG. Although ENPH off the lows, it was more than 5%. I saw at one point AMD 3.8%, ON Semiconductor about 3.5%, for solar down 3% as well. So that kind of an afternoon. Consumer discretionary names, not bad. We are seeing a little bit of a bounce in some areas in this group, including some of the travel names still. Casinos are downside for the most part. Caesars leading 6%. 6% for Caesars under pressure. Etsy 4% after a pretty good day going back to earlier in the week. Welcome back in. Let's talk a little bit about what we were discussing early on this morning. If you're with us in the pre-market, a ton of individual movers, a ton of individual opportunities, including Tesla was on watch again with that full self-driving news coming through. We also had some of the chip names moving around. NVIDIA, Google going in opposite direction. Google obviously not. Well, they do make chips, so maybe it is. Is Google a chip name? I guess we could consider it with their Tensor chips. Anyways, Google comes out with their AI computer that says is better than NVIDIA's. So we'll discuss going forward. A ton of movement in banks throughout the day as well, heading into earnings coming up on next week. Next week, Friday morning, we'll kick off earnings season with some of the big banks. But anyways, movement to the downside, unfortunately, once again, for some of the regional banks. Let's get right into it. Sean's going to lead us off this afternoon with a look at a trade from this morning.
What's up, traders? Once again, it is your trade of the day, and it is brought to you by Day Trade the World. And I want to give a big shout out to Dan Emmons there on the chat, because we didn't even notice this earlier today. This is the KRE, it's the regional banks, and we just had a nice move on WAL. We have a nice move on FRC happening right now. We've traded WFC today. We definitely wanted to look at some of the banks here. And the thing is, we don't normally trade the ETF, but we couldn't figure out which names we liked and which names we didn't. So we just looked at this. Look, we're right at the bottom again of KRE, and we started to break lower. So in the day, we were like, hey, you know what? Let's just go short the KRE. So that's exactly what we wound up doing. And here it is breaking right there. That's that 41.65 break, which coincides, of course, with the daily, the low of the 52-week low here on KRE. So we actually start to short right there and start to really bank it out. And it's not a huge trade off the open. We thought it would actually go down a little bit more. So we take that pre-market sort of bottom there, which again goes with sort of the 52-week low, started to break down. You can see it sort of falling down. We had a bunch of economic numbers today. Not really too much affecting the banks, especially these names, but there's the move to the downside. Now, this is where it gets a little bit tricky. We exit some out, but then it just rips all the way back up, and we still have shares on board here. So what do we do? Again, because I'm still trading equity and I think, okay, we're going to short ahead of 42 bucks. Nothing really significant there about 42. We just shorted more there. Then it blows all the way to the upside. Now we're getting into some of these levels here where we're taking out the 200 period. So I'm like, uh-oh, maybe. And there's actually a level that goes back to yesterday that we were talking about 42.25. So we actually get stopped out there, and it's not at 25, it's at 42.20. That was my mistake, and we talked about that on the show. We got out at the wrong level, and when that happens, it's very similar to a keystroke error, right? So I just get right back in. So we actually wind up taking the L. So our very first trade on KRE, profitable, but then we average in again, and get out. So we wind up taking a little bit of a hit, not a big one because this was the bigger spot, but we didn't get the right price. So we just punch right back in. Then it starts to explode to the downside. Remember, this is punching in at 20s, 18s, 19s. Then we start getting out. Those are 05s. These are 42 even. So we're like, okay, we've got 20 pennies or 15 pennies in the money. Let's take this out. Then all of a sudden, and we have on a full position here. So as it starts to collapse back in, this is where we start getting out again at some areas where we thought there might have been some support, 41.75. So it starts to come back in, and then we're like, okay, now we're back at the day's low. Let's take more out. So we just believed in the fact that the KRE was heading to the downside. And on the side, right, we still have WFC. We talked about the FRC, all on the outside to wait to see if there's anything happening. And all of a sudden, we get that Western Alliance news, and it bumps all the way back up. And I'm just sitting there at my desk. And I'm like, okay, let's have a look at what's going on. Neil had WAL. I didn't. I was like, all right, let's go find out about where KRE is. So look what happened. It's Merry Christmas all over again right here. Nice move to the upside. Look where we get short, 42.20, 42.15. Then it just collapses again, and we're almost out of this trade. But it comes right back into some of these same levels where we start taking more out. Some outs there at 41.90, some out at 42. That's 20 pennies. That's 30 pennies. That's 40 pennies plus on these trades. So WAL, FRC, WFC, JP Morgan, sure, they're all in play, but don't sleep on trading some of these ETFs. Tons of volume. You can use whatever share size you want, and they're just not as wild. Your stop orders will work. It will trade like an equity. I like the KRE today. It's an ETF for the regional banks, and it's your trade of the day.
Multiple cautionary notes coming out from analysts this morning on specifically the regional banks, but going into earnings season with these banks. And the trouble we've seen from them of late, definitely worth watch over the next week or so. If you haven't done so, make sure you sign up for that every single day. Use a QR code, enter your email address, you get that in your inbox for free. Just watching Qualcomm here, QCOM on a nice move. Just went red to green and then some. Now up 0.6, 0.7% on this. It would appear there was a new AI test that was run that included Qualcomm and NVIDIA chips on efficiency specifically. And it was actually Qualcomm that came out on top, guys. So we've been discussing this NVIDIA chip or NVIDIA chips specifically on the AI side. But in this specific test anyways, they're pointing to Qualcomm being more efficient for running AI computers anyways. But back to the upside here, as I said, red to green right now for QCOM. Speaking of, this was the note on Google and NVIDIA this morning. Google getting in this argument as well after the close yesterday, saying their supercomputer is bigger and badder and better and, hey, even greener, apparently, according to them, than NVIDIA's. But maybe now we got to pay attention to QCOM in this argument as well.
Yeah, Qualcomm, interesting. I think like 20 cents from here could be a spicy level on Qualcomm, at least when I pulled it up there. But look, Alphabet, you know, bigger, better, stronger, whatever. It's just, you know, you go with the tit for tat here. It was a positive catalyst in some regards, but it was a frustrating trade. And when you try to go bottom picking, you know, it's not always going to be able to go well. The only thing you can do is try to limit your loss in this particular situation, because I was looking at the dip buy at 104 on Alphabet, and I'll get to NVIDIA and how I like the short there and didn't end up catching it. It's almost comical when a stock is that weak and you don't find yourself into the short that you want. But Alphabet off the 104 support from yesterday was kind of what I was looking at. It looked pretty good so far at the open. Like we were able to get the first dip in here. Like it goes to like 0420s. Comes back up. I wish I could say that was a short. It absolutely was not. That's covering some at 70. That's covering at 104.80. And then it's going right back into the well at 104. It stops out. I try some unders, like getting filled underneath the bottom, giving it like a few pennies beneath, like it breaks 30 cents down. So I get some fills in the 80s. That stops out as well eventually. And then you go enough times, you're going to catch the bottom. That's just the reality. I was able to catch the bottom late to get a little bit back. Here it stopped out, wicked out, came back in, and was able to get like 40 cents out of it to try to limit the losses in the day. But the more, it's frustrating. That's frustrating a little bit. Not getting anything in NVIDIA short was even more frustrating. We might get that chance in the afternoon. NVIDIA caught a double bottom here, and it's racing back up to 270. I wanted a 71 short, laughably. Once it failed 70, should have looked for the first consolidation like we did yesterday. Yesterday I didn't get 280, but I got the 78 short. So today, when I don't get 70 to 71, I should have had the 68 short, just like we did yesterday. That being said, I think I went over to the right place. We'll get to Tesla at some point, and then C3 AI, which quite frankly those were easier. Not easier shorts to get into, but kind of easier situations to be confident to hold, I suppose, than shorting NVIDIA.
I feel like I'm going to retire myself to the midday show because like the amount of trading and like the bangers that we have right now on board, you can see my positions right now, absolutely destroyed them. We did not destroy Google today. It is my worst stock of the day here today, and we just kept on. We just kept on buying it all the way down, and just believed in it, and then eventually we got it. I mean, we got money back for sure because, like Neil said, if you keep on going, eventually you'll get it. But yeah, not well traded, man. The minute we wrote down 105 on here and it broke it, we should have just sort of waited for that ultimate bottom to be made. We did that. I mean, wait till you see my Apple trade or Microsoft trade and stuff like that. Doesn't matter. We're talking about Google. We screwed this. I don't think I screwed it up. I don't really, honestly, like people in the chat are like, oh, how was Google? Like they see you win on KRE and then they're like, okay, how was Google? Yeah, Google sucked today. I've traded 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 names today, right? So we're going to have some winners and some losers. But yeah, today, definitely wrong on the Google take. I mean, forget about the trades. I mean, not forget about them. I've just told you it's my worst position here today. But like, here's the fall down. And I don't think, like, there's really nothing in here that would have told me that this is the bottom. So I really feel like the only thing that really mattered today was the NASDAQ, as it always matters. And we had a great short on AMD, which we can talk to maybe now. I mean, we're talking about NVIDIA and stuff. But, look at that. Look where the bottom was today, 13,000 on the NASDAQ. So I feel like when my levels fail on stocks, which happens, obviously, then you got to look at the main index, right? What exactly is happening? Because I don't think anything today was Google's reason for coming down so hard in the open, right? The NASDAQ completely fell and then only found a bounce there at 13.0, right? So 13.00008, I think, was the very bottom there. So yeah, the NASDAQ created a little bit of a problem, but if we're going to talk about chip names, I'll do this really quickly. This was a big one. So, I mean, for everyone that wants to talk about, losing on the longs, sure, we did lose on the longs, but we did not lose on this short at all. AMD, this is what we waited for. As soon as we broke 13.1 on the NASDAQ, you guys heard me say, we're just 13.1 to break. And as soon as that broke, that's what executed us into this AMD trade. I just went right over to AMD because we were down on the day and we shorted it. And this is $1. So we tried to get the bounce back. We actually had one little bounce back and then it failed. So we can zoom in. We got out for flat there. But this was short 93. Some of these final outs, 91.50, there's an out right there, 92.03, so we let it fall all the way down. Then we tried to bottom pick, made a little bit back until it eventually dumped out. Can't believe we got out at 91.45 here, considering where AMD is now. But hey, that's going to happen to you every once in a while. I still love the chip names. I still love Google, and let's just see where this market leads us. We're still down 1.2% here on a Wednesday.
Yeah, pretty negative once again as far as tech is concerned. I was just going to jump over to AI so we can talk about C3 AI first of all, but the entire group moving downside once again. Yeah, 1.2 for the overall market. Here's 15% for C3 AI all the way back to 21 after that short report yesterday. Wasn't much of a bounce today, but it was quick, up to 25 there. It gave you an opportunity. That break to the downside also pretty clean. This morning as well, we were wondering if there's going to be follow-through after that Kerrisdale Capital short report yesterday talking about, quote-unquote, aggressive accounting being used by C3 AI. But this group, 2 days in a row now, downside, guys.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, every now and then, like, there was no real bounce in the stock. It's like the stock is getting destroyed. And when this happens, like the greater the run up, the squeeze that this has had the last couple of, not days, but I mean, you're talking last couple of weeks, that just made the fall all that much more ridiculous. And quite frankly, it might get to 20. I don't know that it has to get to 20 at this particular point, but you can see it on the daily. Like, it took out, like the 50 period doesn't matter, does it not matter, whatever. It took it out today. That's when I got in. I would have liked a pop into 26. We leaned into it this morning, sort of saying, okay, second day after short report, sometimes you get a bounce to the upside. Let's short 26s. Otherwise, we'll wait for the breakdown. It broke the low, that 23.30, which was on the daily, and couldn't get any shares when it broke this bottom here because it's SSR. Then the 23 break, there was liquidity there, shorted that. Held on to it, actually never really got flat at any particular point, always held on to some for 20s, and then started reloading off the 22 level. That was the last available short curl. I had the 15-minute up for perspective. It's now testing 21. So that last push that we just got just now, you could see this trail back all the way. And I'm not saying all the way, but all the way back to 22. So I don't want to give this all the way back into 22 even. I'm going to trail this at this point. I still think 20 can be a potential long for the stock. If only because, I mean, the bottom has to come somewhere, and quite frankly, if you look at the daily, it's the most obvious level out there. Maybe that means it'll be a crowded trade, but sometimes you just want to join the trend. For 2 days in a row, this is just giving you opportunities to go short, hold short, reload short, everything you can ask for. And this one, it ends up clean because it never really bounces. It doesn't actually threaten you. It doesn't threaten you when you short 23. It didn't really threaten you when you shorted 22 either. If it catches a bid here, I'll probably be out in about, it could do it right now in about 5 to 10 cents.
Yeah, this is the area right now. I didn't even realize where we were right here. I mean, on the daily chart, I haven't traded it today, but this is what we're talking about, is just going long off this bottom. I mean, you have a bottom here for C3AI of $20. I have to let this load up a little bit here, of $20 flat right there. It's like it's as clear as day. 20, 2007, whatever you want. So I just feel like if you want, I don't want to go long today, but this is the spot right here to go long to this name. I would feel like you bounced off 2080. You know, that might have been good enough for some of you that were looking for a 20 long. So that's like 80 cents worth of risk. You're already in the money. Now 40 cents. I don't know, maybe we're taking something out if you're long. But yeah, it's been a good, I mean, Neil had the short, which was great. I would just say you got to wait for 20s, and then you'll start to trade that. So if this does get anywhere near 20, hit me up on the chat, and we will look to trade that. Just quickly now, because I don't see Apple on the board, this is what I was talking about moving over to the midday show. We basically just waited for Apple to bottom right there at 162, was 161.80. Then we waited for it to take the 50 period on the 1 minute. That's what I use it for. I talk about that all the time. And thanks to Sharif and Max for talking about the 50 period and introducing it, and a lot more traders using it. But right there, that's what we use to go long, and it definitely worked, man. 162.30 all the way up. We actually held this pretty good. A bunch of these outs are 80s and 90s, and so it was a really great trade to the upside for Microsoft, but we're getting some out now. Sorry, I had the same trade on Microsoft, but this is for Apple. You know, looking at 163, it really hasn't broken it. The highest has gone is 163.12, so we still have a piece left, but we're getting out more. We've just taken a couple outs right now around 163. I just wanted to get that out to everybody just to know that I'm not still in the majority of these Apple shares.
Every time I'm about to talk about Tesla, Randy shows up on stage, but he just knows that it's Tesla time. 3% today, Randy, downside for Tesla 2 days in a row here. Under pressure, but it's been a pretty good couple of weeks anyways for this thing. Back to 186, 187 right now here this afternoon. We're talking, or this morning we were talking full self-driving in China going to be a thing. That comes after Shanghai deliveries or vehicles coming out of the Shanghai plant were up 35%. So sales coming out of Shanghai, 35% in the month of March. That was yesterday. But 2 days in a row downside, as I mentioned here, guys, for Tesla today.
I'm just going to quickly pull my TraderTV chart up so you can see the 50 period on the daily here.
Where's Randy? He's
on Tesla. Desk. So let me zoom in. There you go. So let's pull up the chart here because I'm trying to keep it simple. And this is, the purple here is the 50. I don't know why it's purple on this. I always have a different color on my charts. But you can see Tesla has been riding it on the daily chart. So the simple thesis was long in front, short underneath. on Tesla. So I'll get that out of the way, kind of throw that back up there.
Does he want to?
So I was long in front, bouncing off
just
189 and 70, and we got a couple of good trades like 50 to 60s, and then it was a reversal. This is my 15-minute chart. Once it broke down, I just reversed into the short, 189.5. It got to 188. We took some more out, and then it was reload time. I'm going to pop from the 15-minute to the 3-minute. So we've reversed short here. We're able to get the move into 88. It goes sideways. Now remember, 50 periods broken on the daily chart. You're thinking short. It gives a consolidation. It was doing absolutely nothing. But then once it made this move, bottom, one big wick on the 3 back up to the top. I missed this opportunity here where you could have some overfills, but that big green, that last kind of final test, like when you see the strength like that, the volume, if you can see the corresponding volume on that, not even, it's probably one of the smallest bars of the morning. So this move to come back into the consolidation high is one of the smallest volume bars in the morning, short into it. I got out too early because I took some out in the range, which was not smart. It broke the range, we took the buck, and then we waited for like the 185.50, took it out there, and then it goes all the way to 183.5. But patiently waited for a couple of setups, the reversal to the short, the long off the key area, but the reversal when it broke your key level. So that was the level I knew I wanted to short it. And then I haven't really done anything. It made a pretty harsh bottom, and I haven't seen any levels I liked. I mean, it's still going to be that 188 to that 189.70. Like that's the target area for the short trades. It'll end up being my best just because we got it a couple of times, and I was never able to get aggressively as much as C3AI as I would have liked. But there were a couple of good trades today for the shorts. You just had to be able to pick your spots, be patient, allow it to get into the levels, make sure that you're holding on to it. And sometimes those reversals off of the longs, if it's a key level and you're going to get out, how many times do we see exactly where you get out as a perfect reversal point? The more important the level, the better it is. Try to keep your R&R tight, risk to reward the best you can, and then that gives you a better idea of sort of like the success rate on your wins, your losses, because you never want that one trade to blow you out. It's not just about the P&L, but you want that ability to be still trading the rest of the day. Like the bigger trade on Tesla didn't set up until 10:30, right? So if you were shut down in the first 10, 15 minutes, let's just say, then you don't get that trade. You don't get the longs off the bottom, like Chom was just saying. And we tell this to traders all the time: don't get shut down in the first 15 minutes. But
ridiculous.
No, but it's important, right? Like it's important because people always think about it. Oh, it just sucks because you lost. It's also the opportunity cost of not trading the rest of the day. Because I can't tell you how many times the best setup happens at 10, 10:30, 12 o'clock. Who would have known the WAL was going to have that move? I don't know. It just happened, and if you had a chance to trade it, great. And if you were shut down, you're going to sit there with a ton of FOMO.
Yeah, we always say I don't like to risk any more than 25% or so of my daily shutdown on any one given trade. We weren't close to it today, but definitely. I made back 70% of my day just by those 2 trades in the middle of the day, so I think that's right. We're talking about Tesla a little bit here, but the thing is that I have actually an interest in Ford, and you might have heard earlier on in the day, Neil said something like, oh, Randy said something about Ford, but we didn't really cover what that was. Well, guess what? We have Randy in the building. You guys might have saw him sitting there beside Brendan, and no, he's not just a pretty face. Very handsome individual and a great guy, a great father, a great fisher, everything. This is Randy, ladies and gentlemen, and I want to ask you, Randy, what is up with Ford, and is there anything that's maybe scaring you about a possible investment currently?
I do a lot of reading. Spent a lot of time digging into auto things. I was on a forum last night for a little while. A forum that I'm on often, I'm not going to name it, but production rumors, supply chain rumors about existing Ford models. The Lightning was one of them. This is supply chain to Ford, not Ford themselves. So parts shortages, they're trying to get the F-150 Lightning production back up there. They had the shutdown, and that hurt them bad. On top of that, recall. So Ford's got a little bit of a pain in their wallet right now. This adds to their woes. So hopefully it doesn't last too long. This came from an engineer on the production floor. Again, rumor, not yet confirmed. I'm going to follow along with this story, and we'll catch up. We'll add to it.
Theoretically, somebody who's wandering around the factory may notice
should know what's going on.
A lack of products sitting in certain areas.
You would think.
Yeah. I wanted to mention as well that note this morning we saw on Ford, the $7,500 tax credit coming off, they said could be half of their current offerings.
Yeah, the government, I don't know, it's going to affect their numbers. I mean, you reach a production limit and they take the tax credits away. That's been a long-standing thing. Can they move the goalposts for the tax credits? They could. That's a Biden thing. I mean, it depends country to country. The Green Initiative is still there. Is the money behind it there? Yes and no. As cheaper cars hit the market, not so much.
Is there a there, I think, is the the bigger picture. But as we were saying, the last time you were on, we were talking a little bit about infrastructure, period, is not really there yet. So a manufacturer like a Ford, like a GM, still a ways to go when you compare them to Tesla.
A ways to go, and their bottom line is still predominantly ICE cars. They're still shoving...
And will be.
And will be for the foreseeable future. I mean, 2035 is a, I'm going to say a hard date, but Europe and some other countries have said, no more ICE cars beyond 2035. However, they're going to be still serviced.
Yeah.
They're still making new ones.
Yeah.
The lots are still need to be filled up for people who can buy ICE cars who don't want an electric, can't afford an electric, don't have the infrastructure to get charged an electric. You and I talked about chargers in places like condos and the cost of it. If there's a barrier there and you don't have the money to buy it and an ICE car is still in your foreseeable future, I need an ICE car. Are you going to make one for me? Sure. If there's supply chain shortages, that's a problem. So they still need to keep this going out the door.
Yeah, and when you're talking about, $30, $35, even $40 US to charge a Mach-E per charge, that's still... a gas tank is not necessarily that much more. You had a pretty cool picture there of a toy that you found.
A toy.
This is an aftermarket, I guess?
This is an aftermarket company. I believe they're in New Jersey. And they take a standard Model S and delete the back doors and make a convertible out of it. And it's absolutely gorgeous. I think it's one of the best mod Teslas I've seen in a while. It's sexy. It's a convertible.
Take note, Elon. I'm sure he already has.
They could do a lot with that platform, I think, but yeah, note to Elon.
Yeah, note to Elon. I think wasn't the Roadster at one point going to be a...
The Roadsters is still a thing.
But wasn't that going to be a convertible at one point?
The original one was a convertible. This one will be a convertible as well. Where it is in their production time frame, I don't know.
Yeah,
there's the Semi and the Cybertruck, and there's other toys that are sort of in front of it. The Model 2 being... I think a higher priority. The Roadster is supposed to be their hypercar. When it'll hit the road, we don't know.
More to come from Tesla, as per always. As per always. Randy's here, as per always, when we're talking Tesla. Let's talk Meta real quick here, guys. At not the bottom of the list, but almost. Not one, but two different upgrades this morning for Meta. Ends up being a non-event. Back to day lows here with the overall market.
210. Meta just... I hadn't looked at it. I was wondering
Where's Meta?
210. Well, it's 211 now, but it did touch 210. I didn't even realize. I was like, oh, is Meta at 212? I haven't even looked at it today. I was focusing on Microsoft and Apple. But yeah, look at this drop for Meta here today. Pretty dramatic, man. We were looking at a 212 possible area. That didn't even think about holding 212. It just kept on going, man. Wow. Actually, I'm now I feel a lot better that I was in Google, because I would have, just as a percentage here, this went down, not as a percentage is probably the same, but just as a straight dollar number there, Meta went down quite large, man, 214, 215, all the way down $5 to that very bottom. And if you kept on buying these dips, there would have been one opportunity there at 212. 50, back up for $1, and then straight down $3 from there down to 211 and change, where you finally held out a little bit. So yeah, today Meta pretty sick with it for sure to that downside. This is the 20-minute chart. Look, I talked about this yesterday again. Sold some Meta, sold some NVIDIA. I just felt that we were up a little bit too far. We've got some nice profits. I was talking with Sharif about this earlier yesterday, and I was just like, where do we wind up getting out? Maybe on a 200 break. I mean, that's fine. If you do that, you'll give up 7%, right? Because the high was 16, so you take $16 off of 200, you're at 8%, give or take. So that's probably worth the risk. But I don't really see any areas why this would stop at 210. For me, I think that if tomorrow's another day similar to today, I think you're looking at this 208 area as a possible area to go long tomorrow, or we just wait to see what happens here today, and then we smash this 210 short if the market continues to fail. So I like that bottom right there of 210, but again, you know, you're up there. You're bouncing off the 50 period here, which is the purple, which is the pink right now. And then we have a little underlying 200. These are just 1 minute charts. So when we talk about a 200 period, that's exactly what it is, right? So, you know, be careful with all of that here, trying to move forward with this. But, you know, I like Meta down here near 210. If it gets down there today, we'll try a long because there's that very wick there. You can see the volume that came in on that wick. It only broke 210 for like 8 pennies. And then ripped back up. So I think that's worth watching, especially maybe into tomorrow for Meta. So let's watch out for 210 coming through on Meta tomorrow. Doesn't look that great, but you know, I think there's better longs out there. I love the upgrades though. It's just too far, I don't know if it's too far, too fast or not, but that's a great bump for Meta. Might be profit taking time.
I mean, there's always healthy pullbacks in a trend, and it had to come back at some point.
Yeah.
So I just finished talking about reversing in Tesla. So 212.50 was pretty good, and is this going to work? Yeah, I'm missing half the day on my 3-minute chart. But anyways, 212.50, we're mentioning that in the morning. We only bought it at one price. That was good. We got the one spot, didn't go long anywhere else except for we wanted to. So follow rule, and you're profitable. However, you know, that was a pretty key level when it broke. Look how clean it was. When you're getting, sometimes if it was really clean on the bounce off of the level, maybe you should anticipate that it could be just as clean to the downside. I didn't reverse this one. You can just see that was it. I was one and done with one trade and one level on Meta, and then I walked away. I did want to go over something Randy said because Randy was just talking about Ford. I don't know how we could just gloss over this on the daily chart here. Ford, we know all about Ford at $11 on the daily. But look at the rejection of the 200 period the last time it got there. And then just now, breaking the 50 period, failing to get to 13, back under, could close under the 50 today. Like, that's really well set up. Like, if this happened on my 15-minute chart or like here, on like a 3-minute, I'm watching the stock in the day, like I'd be shorting there and I'd have my stop up here and your targets are, you know, once it gets beneath 12, you're starting to get out into 11. Yeah, that's set up for a bit of a pullback trade. So I'm going to watch out for some Ford in the upcoming days. Closing beneath that 50, I think, does have a little bit of a setup. But, man, it just, the more key the price level is, at least consider whether you want to reverse when it breaks. You don't have to reverse every single trade, but it should at least be on your mind. Like, that's the first step. The first step is acknowledging that you want to do it more so that you don't just get it, the good ones, 1 out of 10 times. Maybe the next time it's 1 out of every 5 you catch the reversal on. And then eventually, you want to start getting a little more aggressive when you really like the level, getting that reversal of the trend there. That was the case for me on Tesla, just didn't catch it on Meta.
All right, let's talk Palantir here to wrap things up. What a flush this had this morning. That was short-lived. The Microsoft story comes out in the pre-market. It actually got through this 850 area early on, this 850 area from the daily chart. Pretty clear line in the sand. But wow, did that come back to earth in a hurry here, guys, for PLTR?
Oh, go ahead. Yeah. So 7 names today traded, 2 red names, and of course it's the first one on here, Google, and it's also Palantir. So you know, we're going to go 5 and 2 today, but one of them is Palantir, and it sucks because again, so it wasn't that bad until about 10 o'clock when ISM Manufacturing came out. We were lucky enough to get a piece out right when it came out, and then it was just collapse down in for Palantir. And you know, you could have closed your eyes and nothing would have mattered because it just kept on going. There was really no retracements back. I mean, of course, if you wait and you grab these ultimate bottoms, I mean, I don't know how you would have picked them out, but I mean, that 785 down there, I can like, again, data mine and go back and look at all these different charts and all this and say, oh, look, should have done that, should have done this. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it was a good news. It was a U.S. defense contract. They had sort of partnered up with Microsoft. They got everything working. They're using Azure. It makes a lot of sense to me. There's not a hell of a lot of money in defense contracts, that's for sure, but it's proof of concept to me. And I would have thought that it would have worked. Didn't. All the way to the downside. We take the L on Palantir. It finally gets back to 802. I mean, whatever, man. I was defending 8 until it broke. Then we thought, okay, let's defend 90. Then it broke. So I could not have won on Palantir today. And again, it all started with right here. This huge dip down. Like, I would be up a lot of money obviously, if I didn't trade Google or Palantir today, but most of the problem started in the first 1 or 2 minutes. So as it came back in, and again, I don't feel like I did anything wrong. This was up here to $9. I liked the long. It fell right back into a level yesterday of 850 that I liked again. All right. Then it came back in right here into yesterday's, support level in and around here of 830. Like this long here should have been fine. This should have been fine on good news. When it wasn't, right? So the only thing I could have done, I don't think I could have done anything better, to be honest with you. I should have stayed away. But I like the long, and I don't have a problem losing on ideas that make sense. I like the long. The levels are fine. I don't have a problem. Just kept on going to the downside, and every time that happens, these paper cuts add up to the point where we're red on it. So that's what Palantir was for me today. I don't really feel any ways about it other than, it was a sucky trade, and we'll look to make some more money. Well, we've already made a lot of money back, so just not on this name. But Palantir, a struggle for me today. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Palantir, look, it was a struggle if you like the long end. It was a struggle for me. There's one thing I could have done better. Like, to me, there was a structure for a trade that I liked. This is 855, yesterday's high. Splitting hairs. Like, I wanted a 55 price with a stop underneath 40. So, I mean, I ended up with that. So it looks fine. Like, it ended up exactly the risk that I would have wanted in stopping out. But you can kind of tell the difference. I'm catching a falling knife. Instead of like allowing it to drop, and then look what's happening at the level it gets to. Like when it gets to your level, like what the hell's going on? And what's going on is it was just running you over. So we got out of it. I have to go over to Coinbase because I just got a reload in Coinbase. So you can gotta move to what's trading. Why? Again, I'm missing a good portion of the day on the 15-minute chart. Let me go to the 3. Is it working? There we go. It's working. So I've just reloaded Coinbase. It was a good one earlier on when I had this short off 60-70, but it is making a power move to the upside. My stop is literally, that was close. My stop is pretty much right about here by, oh my goodness, it went like 1 cent away from stopping me out there. Should be obvious where that is because now it just went to 60-70. But I reloaded under VWAP. I didn't take any overfills, thankfully, because as I just said, how it's filling you matters. So if I stop out here, the only way I want to get back into this trade is if I see this starting to fail and maybe consolidate. But that's a big, strong move up sometimes. It was a good short earlier on. We actually got it down to 59. I was looking for the same thing again. You got to be able to get out of the way of these sometimes. And I meant to go over this during the chips. I want to show you the stop out. There it actually just happened. But we did grab that Intel. Someone had asked about the 3250 on Intel. I did get it. We're close to the high of the day now. 33 going to be in play. This has been kind of gently trending to the upside, but it finally kind of gave that dip buy into the zone that we wanted. This is 32.5 from the other day, so we got the longs on Intel there. And it's only gone that 50 pennies on Intel. It's a $32 stock. If it breaks 33, I think that's a different trade. If it dips back in, I want to try to catch it back into like the 60s on Intel. So it's still a pretty strong name. Oh, that was, I didn't get stopped on Coin. I saw the fill. Coin went to 70 again without breaking it. I got trailed out of C3I. So that's my correction. I literally was looking at Coin. It was right at my stop level, did not trigger, but I am trailed out of C3AI. That was the actual fill that I just got. So the short is done.
Congratulations!
It might fall more tomorrow. Just throwing that one out there.
Which stock?
C3AI.
Oh, yeah.
It might not be done. Just
No,
saying.
it should not be done.
It's not at 20 yet.
It was up there for a bit. We'll see what happens there on C3AI. Okay, I was going to talk about it. Thanks for the rundown there, Brendo. We are now done that. I was just going to talk about getting out of Apple. And we're not out of it all, but we're out of a piece, or we only have a piece left. But Apple, again, went all the way down here, respected this 162.65 area, came back up right into another area that I thought, was a good little. I mean, our best outs were here were 163, but we take a 162.90 right there. Now it's blowing to the upside as the NASDAQ. Still going to be red on the day. I'm not changing this bear around. It's going to stay a bear anyways. But there's a nice little move to the upside on Apple, 76 cents in the money. What was an 11-cent risk right here? Look at Microsoft. There's that bottom. I made Max talk about this on the midday show, and it was right there against 383, 283. There's the long at 11. There is the $1.50, so that's 15 to 1. I mean, that doesn't really matter when it's that high. We're out of it all. We only had 20% left. We're out there. Now we only have 10% left now, but still holding 20%, pretty good. There's a nice little bottom right there. And then as it kept on going up, these are 5 to 1. Most of these fills, you see this level right here? This is 70. So we were starting to take out 4-to-1, 5-to-1 right here when it started to come up into this level. Then we finally got a 70 finally right there. Then we got a flat, which is 284, which is 90 cents in the money. So that's 9-to-1. And then as it keeps on going, there's another one there. It came back. We took the same fill again at 284. And then we just took a 284.50. So, you know, now we're in the money. I mean, if you guys can see, this is what I was talking about, you know, finally starting to get going here on the net side of things. That's a big winner for us. So we'll just go like slap face on that. I just messaged my wife because I talk about trading with her all the time, and I apologize to her all the time for that. But I was like, I need to slow down early, man, because if we just wait and it's in bottom pick with the kind of shares that we're trying to throw around, it's been much, much better. You pick the right names at the right time. Both of the trades today that blew up in my face really started early. In fact, Google started at 8:30. Talk about getting in too early. Like, that was ridiculous. Like, basically, I would be up on Google if I don't have these right there. But I do, and you have to be accountable for what you have. So let's move forward now as this market continues to rock. Will we break back? So that short that I had was this 13-1 break on AMD. So I'm feeling like if we're going to go short on the NASDAQ, we're almost there. We're basically there now at 1390. So I feel like that's a good short into 13.1. If we break 13.1, then you can get out of that trade. But I like it here. I think we're looking for some shorts right now. That's why we got out of our Apple. Well, we're still in it, but that's why we're looking to get out of Microsoft right now at this high. Let's do a little bit more work here on Microsoft. So it looks like it's going to break a little bit again right there. It keeps... Oh, man, that sucks. We should have just taken it out at 40 again. All right, let me put an offer now at 40. I mean, if it continues to climb the rest of the day, we'll find some other longs, and we will get in something else. Trust on that one. So let's take it out a little bit here if it gets back into the 40s. But other than that, looks like we might have to take a 284 break again. That's the spot, 284. If we break that down below 284, we'll have to take 90 cents on this trade and wrap it. So that's that trade on Microsoft. If it falls down again, we'll be there. But we just took KRE again, by the way. That just went out, not in for another. We're trying to get short again. Broke through 42. We had a simple stop there for a third of what we had left. Now hopefully this will come back down and fill us down here off that rejection there. That was close. Probably should have, reloaded that one. But okay, that's the plan of action. Microsoft breaks 284. We're out. Otherwise, we're going to hold on to that one for the high of the day. Wow, not that.
What this one is? Oh yeah, it's that one.
Yeah, that's the old school cash register there.
No, that's the new. Well, it's new, but it's worse.
Remember we had those Fisher Price? You probably had it too. You get the fake, little thick ass
that was
coins.
awesome. I love that.
And little, yeah. So that was really fun. I feel like that's what it looks like.
Thing. So just going to show you something quick on Coinbase because it did break VWAP here. And VWAP sometimes it's a good indicator. It's not always the be-all, end-all. Don't put stop. I don't like stops at VWAP. I think it's probably a bad place to put a stop. But anyways, this morning on Coin, when I was dip buying into 60, you can see here the initial dip when it bounced off 60.20. I got in at like 35. It wick topped through 70. And then we reloaded it. The reload was obviously no good because it broke 60s. And then we just started working shorts, stopped out, worked shorts, got to the bottom, worked shorts, actually got out in front of 60. And then here again, when it wicked above VWAP, it didn't stop out at 70 even. It got right to 70, the same place it failed in the morning on the initial bounce. Like literally that first big down move there, the initial bounce off 60, that's where it failed. We reload. I didn't reload up here. I actually reloaded when I was sure it was failing underneath that level because that was pretty strong the move to the upside. Was able to get some 50s, now scalping it out into the lows, kind of aggressive into here. If it takes out that 59.70, that's like a buck range, then I'll look for the low of the day. But rinse and repeat, be patient, kind of pick your spots on those trades. It is working right now on Coinbase. We'll try to get it back on this one. And it's kind of funny, you were mentioning talking trading to your wife. One of the best conversations I had about trading had nothing to do with a day trade with my wife, as I was discussing lemonade. Because look, man, you made money on you could buy literally anything during the pandemic and be like, it was great. And then all of a sudden, when crap was coming back down, you had to ask yourself whether you liked it or not. And I remember I kept looking into the stock, like, yeah, do I think it's going to go? Do I think it's a good value, this and that? And I was ready to buy it. I'm like, oh, it's at a level that I think it makes sense to buy. And I was talking about this. My wife she works at a reinsurance company. So she knows the industry very well. And she worked at an insurance company before that. And I was talking to her about it, and she's like, oh, I've never heard of them. And she's like, well, what are some of their numbers? And I started talking about it a little bit. She's like, you should talk to so-and-so at my work. At an office party, I had like a 5-minute conversation with her boss. And I came back being like, lemonade's probably going to go a lot further to the downside. And sometimes you just need to get yourself educated because it's really easy to come up with reasons why you like something and then only have confirmation bias listening to yourself in your head and picking the articles that you read. And then sometimes you want to get a better opinion on it. So that was, it saved me some money, that's for sure.
Lemonade, yeah, the tasty drink. I like the Arnold Palmer.
No, it's that cool, refreshing drink.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, you did that yesterday. That was Come to America?
No, it's Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
Delirious.
Oh, Delirious, okay.
Because he's doing the, they're like Elvis.
Right guy, wrong.
Yeah, because the whole joke is that Elvis, they just tell him to sing his lines in a movie.
Yeah, now I got it. I love that. I mean, is there any better look than what he came to stage with? I mean, that red suit.
That's a Halloween costume right there.
Yeah, you know what suit I'm talking about? Yeah, well, it's
not the
Eddie
Michael
Murphy.
Jackson. It's Eddie Murphy had his own for. We're talking to Pratt. Eddie Murphy had his own for Delirious and Raw. The Michael Jackson for Thriller, that's a difference. Anyways, and now you guys are like, what the hell are they talking about?
No. Here,
it's a very distinct and different suit, though. There you go.
This is the badass suit right here. I mean, look how young this dude is right here. This is probably, Goonie Goo Goo. Like, this is one of my favorite.
Yes.
My favorite things. I mean, you guys just watch it. I mean, like every stand-up, there's some controversial moments.
You couldn't do that shit stuff today. Like,
well, you could. I mean, Dave Chappelle is doing probably way worse.
I don't know if he is.
Yes, man.
I
couldn't even watch that last stand-up. But anyways, all right. New position alert as we go right now. Let's go. All right, Alibaba right here. You're near a high right here of 99.73 or so. I'm just going to go short against this. Like I said, the market looks like, now the market's trying to go to three. This is a quick out, man. If we break 80, we're out of this one. I just think this again, if we look at Alibaba right now, well, I have another short coming here at 74. What are we at right now? 68. So I want to try to go short off this and then just give it a little bit. That's the high of the day right now. If we break it, we break it. I've been pretty negative on Alibaba, but I do remember a horrible trade of mine not too long ago was an Alibaba short into 100, and I didn't believe it, and it kept on going, and we got, again, another trade that we took early on Alibaba. So I'm going to hold this short. We're short at 60 flats, 60 half right now, but it doesn't matter. We have more coming, hopefully around this 74, 75 area, which is the high of the day. We're trying to be patient, and if we get that, I'm only going to hold it to like 80s, something in the 80s if we break it. I really want it just the high of the day here. Maybe we have to wait a little bit better than that. Maybe we'll wait at 70. Doesn't really matter. Well, it does matter. Again, like even if you take 200 shares and you wind up losing an extra 30 pennies, that's still $60. Like, it still adds up at the end of the day. So be patient with the trades that you want. It does look like we just hit that home run right there on Microsoft. So thanks to Adam DeLuz and everybody like that out there that was really liking this trade. And I want to just thank everybody for it. That's a banger. We just got out again right there. And if it continues to go to the upside, so be it, man. There's VWAP. It's bounced off of it again. We got that piece out at 30, like we said. We didn't want to wait for 45, which is VWAP. Should have, didn't. Anyways, that's a nice trade, man. 83.11, just out right now at 84.30. We have to be flat at the end of every day. That's not why I got out of that, but I just feel like that was good. It went up enough. We still have Apple, which is in the money $1. Look at this Apple trade continuing to climb to the high side right now. So I'm only going to worry about getting more short here in Alibaba. I don't have enough, and we're waiting for something more at 70. I'm going to cancel my 74 and put it to 70.
Yeah, and by the way, I put it in the chat. We're closing the betting on that WAL, closing green or red, in about 10 minutes or so. But I will put it this way. Consider this one of those like free rolls that you guys all took advantage of, because clearly when I put this one up, it had just halted to the upside. And then broke back out again and looked like it was about to break 31 even. In all honesty, it just gone here to here. I had it very quickly. I saw the consolidation. I wish I had it at 28. Shout out to everyone in the chat that was literally screaming in the chat about WAL, and you could have had 28s instead of 29s. It goes up to 31. That's when we put the poll or the bet in there, which is going to close pretty shortly. And yeah, it's a free roll. You're basically just going to win because there's no chance this is going green. The bet should have been under 30. But if you didn't catch the move to the upside, like Sean said, getting into KRE, I don't know that you would have wanted to short WAL here. I know it would have worked, but I don't know if that's the bet that you want to make on a stock which has done what it's done in the last little bit. Like, that's a risky short on that individual name. And the reason why KRE works is because it's the ETF. So you get exposure to the pullback without worrying about being run over in literally the name that is causing the move. So that's one thing you consider. When an ETF is being dragged up by one crazy runner and you want to fade the move, fade the ETF or fade the market or whatever it might be. I think it's kind of dead right now. I'm reloading on Coin. Did I get it? No, I didn't get it. No, I didn't get it. I'm going to reload on Coin, take some overfills here because it looks like it wants to reject my level. And Intel, someone had just asked in the chat about the 3275. There's a couple of people. That's where my trail is. So it's found some support on the top end here. That's not a short. That was me covering. Again, I already had to take profit. So if it breaks back under, I'm out. Otherwise, I want it up to 33, and we're going to get out at 33. So I'd like to be reloading on Coin. I'm wondering why I trailed out of C3AI because it's now at 2074. That 20 long might happen today on C3AI. I'm interested in how big that level could possibly be, but wow. Oh, like this is the thing. Like you put the trailing stop in there. I had this trailing stop in there for a while. It fills, and like most trailing stops, sometimes it's either going to look really fantastic and it goes all the way to VWAP and I get 22s again, or it's going to look pretty darn bad when this is at 20 bucks even. I'll try to find my way back into it. If I can get filled anywhere close to 21 and use that same area, or just wait for the next consolidation, this trend does not look over by any stretch of the imagination over here on C3AI.
All right, Alibaba fell back down, but we didn't get any shares because we were waiting for 70. It didn't hit 70. Microsoft's right back to the same level that we were at before. And let's find another trade. So what I was looking at right now, we don't have to find any trades. We'll just look at some opportunities, and if we find them, then we will hit them. What about Micron? I like this trade right now as well. If you're going to go back to a 1-minute chart, this is a 57 spot right there. $57 flat here for Micron. You know, again, it's where we started the day. Micron came all the way back, only down 0.66 right now. So it's a huge move back up to the upside for Micron, basically retracing that full dollar. The bottom of the day is 56. Right there's 57. That would have been pretty sweet to grab. Yeah, so that's not, let me check out what AMD is doing quickly here. Again, AMD is another positive name for me today. Look at that short, boom to the downside. AMD, same way, man. Right back to where we shorted it again. Yeah, this is looking pretty good right now, man. $93 for that short in on all these names. Let's just check out NVIDIA.
It's right here too.
They're all, yeah, so they're all going to look very, very identical. It's why we got out of Microsoft and why I'm debating getting out of Apple right now. A lot of these names have come, wow, all of these right now are looking pretty good for a short. But I just, you know, with the NASDAQ moving up like this, I think I would prefer the long at this point. Because even the NASDAQ, it's all 13,100. That's what it is, man. This is 13,100 right here.
Well, the ES.
So maybe I have to, yeah, the ES, whatever. I don't really look at that. But it still matters. I just think that, wow, we were patient with AMD the first time when it was hitting. Like, look at this. When we broke, look at what time this was. 10:30, right? We broke that. And look where my AMD trade, AMD.NQ, of course. NQ. Well, that's the problem when you go from the futures to this. You got to switch it up. Look at it. This is 10:30 right here for AMD. So there's the move down on that 13.1 break. So let's see if it breaks to the upside on 13.1, and then we'll switch over to a long. Alibaba now finally heading to the downside, trying to print that. But I think I like the shorts here rather than the longs in all these names, to be honest with you.
It's hard not to. I mean, like this is a level, I was talking about this in NVIDIA, like I didn't get the 70s and the consolidation short was 68. It's at 68 now. I mean, if I don't want this trade here, then I don't, like what short do you like if you don't like, well, I have Coinbase, so I guess I like Coinbase, and that C3AI, man, like just short every single chance you get until it runs you over, which it has not done at any point. It just hit 2050, 2062, and still going down. Next pop, I'm just taking C3AI into that 21 level. But I like NVIDIA here. If I can get something, I wanted something in the 80s, 67, 80s that is. I don't want to chase it too far because it's showing you where it's failing the break. I think there's room to at least get back into VWAP. I can zoom back in now. I showed you the morning. This is where I want to get it. I could maybe step into the 70s, high 70s for a little bit of a piece, but let's be at least a little bit patient. I do have the exposure because I got that Coinbase reload, but let's see if we can't get some NVIDIA as well. I'm looking at a couple of other names out there. Tesla we talked about, but that's nowhere near a zone that I like for the short. And that's the key. Is it where I want it? Nope. Move on. That's not a short that I want at that price. It has to go a little bit higher for me to get into that one. So nothing there on Tesla. I know a lot of people have been talking a lot about Amazon this afternoon. Well, I mean, this morning a lot of people were, but Amazon, weekday, but I'm just not seeing a lot of trading action. For the last hour, Amazon has a 25-cent range or maybe 30-cent range. So not the first place I want to go to when I see something like that. So it's NVIDIA for me. It's C3AI. I've already got some into Coinbase, but you have to, like when something is trending like this, you've just got to find your way back in. I'm not talking most of the time. Like, okay, we found a couple of places to get in. I'm talking about all the time, here and here and here. And when I'm getting out, I should be getting in. Like how many times do you see that? Where you're getting out, you should be getting more or getting in. When the stock is trending and you're thinking about an out, the first question in your mind is it a possible entry point? And then flip it around and say to yourself, is there an entry point here? Because I can't tell you how many times I see that. The next pop, I am going to take an entry.
All right. Oh, man. So I don't know. Anyone want to ask any questions? I mean, I'm here to answer some questions. I'm waiting. So Alibaba is still doing nothing. I don't know if that's going to work or not. I put a very, very small.
Check your chat.
Small offer here at 66. I really want to wait for 70 to come through. Like where view up is 73, 74. We'll take a small little short right now. What was for lunch? For lunch was the boys had butter chicken with some nice chickpea, which I thought was really good. I actually stole some.
Ours sucked.
And then ours wasn't so bad. I don't really like the ham. Was it ham or I don't know, ham or turkey? I don't know what it was.
It was like the lunch meat, though.
The lunch meat, yeah. I was going to get to that. I think today it was actually, I think it was ham. So it wasn't bad. We had some rice on there as well. But I just go for the salad. I don't know, trying to be a little bit healthier on that one. So salad was pretty good on that. What's for dinner? Steak. I told the wife to pick up some little steaks there. I saw that video of that doppelganger of mine. He was cooking up some steak. So I was like, let me grab that steak today as well. So we'll throw that. I don't know if it's going to be a Barbie kind of day. It's very, very...
What kind of cut are you getting, though?
I don't know. I told her to pick some up. I don't know what she picked up there. My daughter's vegetarian, so she'll be having probably some tofu or something like that. But there's these really good vegetarian little turkey things.
I know those.
They're from Garden or something.
Yeah, my
like
nephew went for a bit, and he was getting those.
Yeah. Not sous vide. No, not sous vide steaks. But yeah, we'll be having those. It should be really tasty, and I'm excited to cook it. But I got to go to. So my daughter, who's 8, has rep tryouts for next year for hockey already, and they start tomorrow for next year already. So I'm going tonight. Early. We're going to sharpen up the skates, and then my son, I think, has his tryouts either this weekend or the following weekend as well. We are quite the athletic group, those kids running around everywhere. And of course, she has gymnastics for 3 hours tomorrow night. Going to be crazy. And then I'm away for Monday, Tuesday. I believe it'll be a Rune in here as we go visit family for Easter. But yeah, that's good, man. Thanks, Comp SRX1. That's what we're doing here moving forward. But AMD, we did not get that short, but we are in the short right now for Alibaba. I was sitting with something at 51 just because it's 50s. Like, it's literally... Okay, there it is. We got the fill, so I don't know. For now, we'll go awesome. But there's the short. Oh, yeah. It's too bad because we were waiting for 74, or else we would... Actually, no, we would have never had the 70s. The highest it went to was 67, so there we go. Don't feel as bad. We put on one trade for you right now in this after show, and it's 1 for 1. And then there it is right now, the KRE. We just took another piece out on that one at 93 as we go. I feel like it was a good out for Microsoft, but that's still kind of to be determined. It's just hovering around right now. I'm just waiting for the ES or the NASDAQ to do something. So that was good, man. Thank you so much for everybody out there. And yeah, I hope everyone has a great time with whatever everyone is doing.
Exactly. Whatever you have me doing, just do what you love, man. Like, that's what it's all about here. And we love to trade. We like to talk about it. There's apparently a really cool dual feature with these points that you can do. Okay. And the issue is, it's really, really cool. It's just I don't understand it well enough to try to explain it right now. But we're going to try to figure out some of the things that we can do with these watching points, because that sounds really cool. Like battling other viewers for points, like Alice in Borderland style. It was if you ever watched, if you like Squid Game, There was a show called Alice in Borderland on Netflix, which is kind of similar, which I thought was cool. But then one of the things you could battle for points, in that game, the loser dies. You're not going to die here. You're just going to lose your points. I just got some NVIDIA. We said we liked a couple of short ideas in there. We did get coin, did scalp a little bit out, but finally got some fills at 80 there, or a fill, I should say. Technically at 75. I want more tethered to 268, and I want a retracement into VWAP on this. C3AI is slowing down, so I might be able to pick up a trade back into the trend. Need to be joining that trend again. It's clearly not over at this point. Until it's at 20 bucks, I'm just looking for shorts. We're in NVIDIA, going to get a bid out here just underneath 267.50. But AI, this is, like, to me, this is the one. Like, why are you shorting anything else that isn't this, Neil? I don't need 22s out there. I don't need my 21s. This consolidation here off the 70s, I want to work into a short off of this and then just see if we can rinse and repeat. I don't want to take a breakdown. Usually when it consolidates, you can catch a fill, so that's what I'm going to go for. I just rang the register on that first NVIDIA fill, and as I say that, you're already heading to the downside on C3AI. Once again, the stock that is weak continues to fall. I'm willing to bet you, I have not looked, I promise you I have not looked at this today. I'm willing to bet you Silvergate was a free money short on a day like today. Almost certainly. Like, when it's weak, just find the biggest piles of, I just find the weakest stocks out there trending. It wasn't that great. It's only 8% to the downside, 9%. But the point is that there's not really much of a bid on these things, and you can just sort of take advantage of that. Like, usually it only bounces after it makes a flush, bounces after it makes a 10% flush, bounces after a 10% flush, 10% flush, 9% flush. Like, how many days in a row does it give you 5 to 10% before you just want to? Because one day we're going to wake up and this is going to be gone. You know, I think Bed Bath & Beyond this probably applies to. What was the other one the other day? Virgin Orbit. That's probably down a gazillion percent as well. So I'm not saying C3, I'm not comparing that to C3. I'm just simply saying when a stock is trending to the downside, you'll want to be finding excuses to join the trend and always ask yourself, why am I not in this right now? Why am I not? Like, when BABA's going up, or when AMD's going, or when NVIDIA goes up for like 55 days in a row, ask yourself every single morning, why am I not in this long? Where am I getting this long? How am I going to join this long? In these cases, it's about the short for those. I'm trying to think of a word that isn't crap, or I think we had a word for it, like not small cap crappers, it was trashy tech. That's what it was. It was trashy tech, or that trashy
was Daniel
fintech.
Shea, wasn't
Daniel
it?
Shea came up with that one.
Yeah,
I like that trashy tech thing. So I'm not calling NVIDIA trashy tech. I just happened to pull this chart up because I was in it.
All right.
They're not trashy tech.
Yeah, no.
Obviously.
Meanwhile,
Oh my God.
finally, Alibaba. Not a bad idea. It's 20 cents in the money right now. That was a good one that we've taken. So, you know, that's starting to work out for us as well. And then there goes AMD as well. So that's another one right there. Wake up, America. We had that again. That's right there to the 50 period. So, yeah, it's only 20 cents, man. It's only 20 cents. But, hey, we'll take a piece out there and we'll wait to see it just flushed. Like, I don't know, right down there to 50s. I'm going to put 16 cents. I'm going to put a bid there every time. And this is what I talk about. Now I've made back 80% of my day right now today with the Alibaba short, with the AMD short, with the Apple long, with the Microsoft long, with the KRE bangers as well. I mean, it's been a good day right now. It's been a good day overall today. So we'll just keep waiting for it. I'm getting more and more confidence every single day about everything. So, and that's always dangerous when that happens to me, because we don't want to be overly confident, but we've identified some mistakes, taking too many fills early. Like, how about 8:30? Is that too early to take longs on a day when I posted on my own sticky note, don't do anything early? Like, and then I'm right away, I'm into Google, and that's the L on that one. So with a new trade today on Alibaba, we're actually going to go 6-2. So 6 winners, 2 losers today on the board, and looking for more here with Alibaba, and then hopefully an AMD flush. But I don't know. We called that move off 13,100. There's probably better names to trade, but I don't know. Alibaba, I actually thought it would be down more than this, to be honest with you. Let's wait to see what happens. My next fill, if you can guess, it's going to be right here at 35. So let's go over to Brendan and hope we get that Alibaba 3.5.
Hey guys, yeah, 1 hour to go. We're into the final 60 minutes of pretty red afternoon shaping up here. It's still the Dow holding on to positive territory, but only just a 0.25% there left over in the green. The S&P 0.34 downside. Russell, all of them have been under pressure. The regional banks housed mainly in the Russell 2000, so 1.19 under pressure as a group so far today. NASDAQ Composite 100 has been leading as far as decliners pretty much all day long. If you missed it early on, get out of here. If you missed it early on, we got that ADP private payrolls number that came out at 8:15 this morning that was lower than expected. Then ISM non-manufacturing services PMI data came out at 10 o'clock, also lower than expected. That had everyone talking recession once again. This one, however, doesn't seem to care. SCLX on a mission this afternoon. This was 8.50 at 145. It's now $15, guys, for this SCLX. Still going up 85%. Back over to you.
I wonder if Max was in that one. Those, I mean, he usually has a feel for those. Like he likes those small cap runners to look for like the buy and hold, because you got to try to take the big wins on them. Otherwise, it ends up not being worth it, because when they pull the rug, it gets pretty ugly. We are headed to the downside. At least the market's trying to roll over. I did get the fill in front of Coinbase in front of 60 just now, so we rang the register there. I'm back into C3AI. Should never have gotten out in the first place. Yes, that's obviously true. So this is a consolidation here, right off about like 2080. So this is that previous bottom, consolidate just under the previous bottom. I'll take some underfills. I'll probably take a few overfills, not too far over. I don't want this running away from me. And if it gets to 20 bucks, you know, I don't want to say I'm automatically going long at 20. I've been saying it all day. It's not that. You should never have it that automatic. You should care how it gets there. You should care what it looks like, what kind of volume is it in. Like if it's just tearing to the downside and there's no bid in sight, you don't have to take that long. It's such an obvious level on the daily chart. That's why we keep saying it. VWAP is going to be where I think NVIDIA can probably pick up a bit of a bid. It already bounced once off 267.15. I took some out at 40. I would like to reload. I never really got the fills tied at 268 even, but if we roll the VWAP, then congrats. I did not trail out of Intel yet, so that's, I guess, a good thing. Intel is slowly, it's not doing anything. I would say it's pulling back, but still within the 5-cent range the last little bit. Good sign if the market rolls over a bit and Intel manages to hold this high, then we have a relatively strong name. I'd like to look for another one, but I find that when we're biased in one direction in the afternoon, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure I'm right about this the last couple of weeks because I checked. When we go, I'm too aggressively looking sometimes to counterbalance, and I'm looking for long trades to go with the shorts that I like right now. And that just ends up taking a bunch of paper cuts on longs. Either I'm in a long that I like and I'm trailing it out or looking for a dip to join into, but I'm not forcing the action in longs. Not today. If we can break back out, like if the ES breaks out the next level, or the NASDAQ or the ES break out the next level, fine. Then we can look for longs. Until that happens, work the shorts, because the shorts are working. Didn't actually mean for that to sound like that, but it's true. And wow, look at that wick on Tesla. Nope, Tesla did not just drop $12. Tesla is still in a 75-cent range.
All right. I'm just putting out a tweet here because I want to thank you, Reliable Rudy, man. That's what it's all about, man. We're just one family here, and you guys are welcome. Hopefully, you're able to put a little bit of this in your damn pocket as well. Look at Alibaba, Palantir. I don't even remember that stock. I don't even know what Palantir is. And then here we go right now. Let's just put it out. Ooh, I just tried to bid 21s, and everyone just jumped on my back right there. Let's see if 21 can fill down. There it is, down to the downside right there. As we finally get a little bit of a fill there. Look at this trade. I mean, what else can we do other than look at it? Boom. Nice move down to the downside here for Alibaba as that just collapsed right there. So really happy being able to show everybody and get everyone going on that trade as it just continues to make lower lows here. Alibaba, what's up, Reliable Rudy? What's up, Beat Fanatic? Anybody else over there? What's up, John Spruill? What's up, Dad Life? I like that. What's up, D-Loaf? Definitely, what's up to you? What's up, Lone? Lone in the chat. Bears versus Bulls, thanks for all your hard work right now. I mean, let's call a spade a spade. You know, what we did for you, or what we did for you, I mean, you guys had to take the trade, but what we've been talking about here in the afternoon has been pretty damn solid. This is a huge move down for AMD as well, right? There's the short, and it's not a fluke. We did the work, man. We talked about this at 13.1 right there, right? Were we going to break 13.1 to the downside? There it is right there. I mean, I don't know. I feel like you guys have found the best trading show on YouTube. And if you haven't subscribed yet, then you're going to get some cat right here.
Hola, like and subscribe today.
Yeah, hit that like, hit that subscribe today. We're located in lovely Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And there it is, man. Now we've made back 85% of our day right now. And it's coming right back into the downside right now, right to 92.20. I mean, that's a banger short for AMD as well, man. Apple still hovering around the upside. KRE trying to make lows again. Let's see if not lows, but see if it can break this 84 area. I mean, I might just sit in these, man. I mean, this has been a good trade here. Alibaba now 60 cents in the money. All right, I'm gonna take out some more right now, man. This trade is absolutely, there's the 94, man. Yo, what's up, Curtis? What's up, the Juice? He's loose. What's up, Honey Badger, man? Everybody there in the chat, this is what we're doing. Best hot tub stream, 100%. What's up to Dan Emmons, man? Yeah, hey. What's up, Dan? We're short with you, baby. The KRE is in the building, as well as AMD and Baba. They're all in the building. What's up, Neil? I accept as well. What's up, Lone Sophos? What's up, Want Action? Everybody in there, thanks for joining, man. This has been a very, very good show, and I'm pretty excited to share some of those trades. What's up, Beat Fanatic? Again, I think I already did you there. What's up, JB? But anyways, that's what that is, man. We're just going to sit back, relax, sip some free lattes from Tim Hortons, and then just, watch.
Free? You got a free latte?
Yeah, man, I have lots of free lattes.
Oh, because of points. Never mind.
No, the roll up the rims, man. We rolling up those rims.
I never win roll up the win. By the way, so NVIDIA just worked. The shorts are fantastic, but I just lost 10 points to Bears versus Bulls in that duel thing. Anyways, I just accepted it. Apparently, all you have to do is hit exclamation mark accept if someone challenges you to a duel. Anyways, VWAP, we got NVIDIA. Didn't get the full position, but we wanted in front of 68. It came right down in. You get the clean dollar and change move. I'm still in AI. I'm still in Coinbase. That's still rolling over. We got a decent one on coin. It just broke 60 even. We're short at 45. So we got the $0.50 there. Next out will be here at 59.80. Maybe close to 75, but this market just wants to flush. It is going. Is that laugh louder? For some reason, I'm hearing it better. I'm hearing it better, that laugh on the. No, this. Is that louder?
Yeah.
It is louder. It's much better. So, anyways, yeah, I might have lost the duel, but the shorts are definitely printing you. I have not trailed out of Intel, but that's going to happen. This is a situation. You're going to get out of your longs and hold on to your shorts at some point if the market trends to the downside. But we've just been looking for shorts. 3 got put on. I am out of one of them. I am holding the other 2. Where is AI? Oh, it's back at the lows. If it never breaks 2050, it doesn't get to 20. So it just got to 2050, so we'll take some out at 50s. Once it breaks 50s, we'll take some out at 40, and then we'll get out at the quarters because that long could be incoming. And the last time I checked, unless there is a very specific glitch in your system, you can't be both long and short at the same time. Although once, I think it was like a few months into my trading, there was a weird glitch that happened once. And I had to log out and back in, but I was both long and short of stock. It was kind of hilarious. Clearly, it wasn't true, and it just required a relog. But that was like 2005. Hold on to your shorts, not your literal shorts. We're talking positions here, only because in the chat, someone actually asked, are you talking about my shorts? Good joke, but the only shorts I care about are the pink shorts if you short Tesla. And I still want my pair for the day that Elon basically called the stock overvalued and gave everybody money. That was one of the greatest things. I love how Elon can move the markets. It's much better when he does it in your favor. But I don't really care about Tesla at this point. It's still not moving. NVIDIA, AI, Coinbase, those are the only ones I want. I'm going to take a quick look over at that. It was CLSH. What was the one you guys just said? SCLH, I think it was. That's small cap. Is that what it was?
I don't
you
know.
guys let me know because I was looking for something strong that might be breaking out. Was SCLH? You guys let me know in the chat. Was that small cap again?
Yeah, people aren't.
CLH.
Yeah, who knows? All right.
SCLX.
Driving steak. There's another graphic right there for you. Chicken dinner winners all abound as there's $1 on Alibaba. So, sorry, 90 cents. We're short 76s there. Well, now it's, no, that's not true. We just got out at 76. What am I talking about? Right there. We got 76s and we're short 60, we're short 58s. So right there, 90 cents, 85 cents there on Alibaba. It doesn't matter, but we just made that little bottom there. Look, I don't know where we're going to stop on this name, but once we sort of hit these targets, like I was really happy with VWAP 99, to be honest with you, and then it just came back in. We don't want to hold this all the way back down, but yeah, so far so good on all of this, man. Getting ready to go to the downside here goes Alibaba. So 98.74, 98.75 right there for Alibaba. We just got out. You know, if it falls down, we'll take that. I mean, if we can get a 98 fill, that would be fantastic. I don't know if the market has that much in it. We've already bounced off 13,000. It's down 1.3%. I like, but I really like that short off 13.1, man. We took it earlier when we broke, and we just took it again. I always say this. I should just be trading the futures or the TQQ or something like that, and I feel like we would be a lot better. I don't know if that's super exciting. Like, imagine a show where I'm trading the futures and Arun's trading the futures. We'd just be sitting here talking about fancy shirts. But here we go. It's a nice move to the downside right now. 98.75 coming through right now. So that was a good trade. And then AMD also trying to go to the downside. Let's try to figure this one out. You know, so this is good. 91.80. I feel like these are good targets. So let's put something there. Ring the register if we get down there. 91. I mean, that's 91.90. That bottom's 91.80. I think we should be happy enough taking this right here, 91.88. And don't shoot the messenger, Dan Emmons, because you probably would tell me to hold this. But we're going to wait for that. 91.88. 91.90 is my target there for AMD. And hey, if there's any other stocks you guys want us to look at, I know Neil just talked about this small one. He's going to, too late, but he has it up now anyways. Does Arun even watch the show? I'm going to say no. He actually said that when he was here. But, well, I think he does, but I don't know. He's not trading all the time, so that would be one other thing there. Netflix, yeah, we could talk about that, but you have that position right now. That stock.
No, I'm in Coin and AI, but I wanted to get to SCLH. I was just sort of slapping like the Fibonacci retracement. It just took out 16 even, stalled at 17, and then put like not a death candle, but that's a reversal candle. When you see something do this after a grind to the upside, you're looking for oftentimes a short entry point. We don't have locates on this, and I don't know if I want to pay for them at 315. There's so many other opportunities to short out there. I think if it gets back up and starts testing 16, I can maybe try to reprocess it, but this has come back a little bit too far, so not going to force the action on that. I'm going to get an opportunity to reload on coin. I think it's more likely. Like that kind of slid down. VWAP broke 60. I just missed getting the 60-cent wins. We had that 1% in our pocket and just missed it, but I will reload this every chance we get. And I just saw a lot of people talking about Meta. Meta, decent pullback here. Good level 212 on Meta. Kind of add that to the list of names that you can fade. We didn't reverse at 212.50. It never got to 212.50 again, but 212 certainly in the back pocket. And NVIDIA just bounced. I talked about getting out at VWAP. I mean, I could have trailed it once it broke beneath VWAP. I'd be getting trailed out anyways. So I took it out on the way down. If it cannot hold this same support area, I think this could be ripe for a re-entry back into the lows. But bounces on Meta, we're going to short. Going to rinse and repeat over on Coinbase. And then if there's any other ones out there, I know IFRX was a good move earlier. Oh, man, that just did a... Well, I pull up that... I literally just pull one up, and the second I look at it, it reverses. I pull IFRX up, and that just dumped 10%. So maybe don't put a small capper if you're long into the chat, because 2 in a row I look it up and the stock is just absolutely getting smoked the second I'm looking at it.
Okay. Yeah, you're welcome, Adrian, man. It's my pleasure. That's why I'm here, to try to give some trading ideas. I mean, some will work, some won't. But now Alibaba is now 90 cents in the money. Well, it just was, sorry. Just bounced off 70 right there. Now back up to 80. So I'm already out, man. I only have 10% left. So one of these, I think it was maybe this one right there. That was more, but generally it's like 10, 10, 10 all the way down. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fills with 10% left. So I believe this one at the 200 period was a much bigger fill, 30% fill right there. So, you know, when we came into this level, you know, we put it out and we're trying to do better to hold, but I think we did great at holding right there because we got a 98, 98, 90, and then a 98, 76 there. So I feel like we really did well on this trade. JPM, okay, sure, let's go look at that. We still are in, I'm just looking at whatever you guys want to at this point, man. Well, it's only 318, so we can get some more trades in. I think we got to wait for 13,000 to come in again. So if that can come in, then we'll wait for that, but that's not in yet. So we'll wait for 13,000 to come through soon. All right, let's have a quick look at JP Morgan. Nicely up today. A lot of you are asking Sharif and Max on the midday show about the Dow Jones 30. I mean, of course, the Dow Jones is going to have these banks in it. It's going to have, well, Intel's in it as well, but it's also going to have J&J, which is up that 3% today. We'll have to check J&J. We're looking at that 163 long. I don't know. What do you want me to do with JP Morgan, guys? I don't know. I mean, it's right into here. You know, if we were up here, maybe, but this is a barcoding name. I don't think we're well served looking at this. WFC was a very positive name for me today again as well. Long until eventually our last 10%. We lost. Should have reloaded this at 50, and we actually talked about this, that we were waiting for that 50. Just a missed opportunity. I like WFC to get back to the upside there, but we are short the regionals, of course, everything regional with the KRE. So that's a good short that we have on board right now, looking to add to it if it does get back to the upside a little bit. All right, well, AMD's flushing. I mean, my net right now is just climbing, so that's how I can tell sort of what's been happening with all this. There's a good out there on Microsoft. We had a little bid sitting there that we got in and out of, but there's our Microsoft out that we talked about at 30 right there. It dipped down into 70, so that looks like it's a good out for us, but let's go ahead and look at Google now. This is my number one losing stock here on the day. Good, but... ooh, okay, we just look, we're just right back here again. We almost got back down to that low. Surprising that it feels like Google's down more than 0.71 today. Maybe that's just because I just kept trying to catch a falling sword here a little bit in the morning. But right there, 103.71. Ooh, we got, like, that was a great long. We missed that. All right, let's wait to see, man. Maybe Google down here at 103.70, 103.75. You know, that could be a good take as well. Alibaba's retracing back up. I mean, maybe we're bouncing again off 1350. I mean, we've already broken it. I don't know if we're going to get to 13,000 again. Where do we close the SPX? I'm not looking at it, so can't comment on that. What's going on with DraftKings?
4,100 maybe?
Yeah, maybe Brendo. Do you have anything on DraftKings today? Because I hadn't seen anything, and it's down 6%, and really... We traded DraftKings long. You remember that yesterday, guys? Yesterday in the afternoon, right there. We had actually in...
Oh my God.
How things change in one day. Oh my God. Yeah, that right there. We went long yesterday, 19, remember? And we had that into the close, which was a great close all the way up. We had a great trade. But look at this today. Feels like this is Palantir all over again. Nice little drop down on DKNG, down 6 and a bit. Hey, we might have a similar trade coming through, but we got to take out 1820 to go long on DraftKings. But I just thought I'd look at that right there. Because it was down so much, but...
Yeah, that down 6%. Caesars was down 6%.
Okay, so there had to have been maybe something with California or something?
I don't know what it was. I only noted it because I saw Brendan point that one out on the we did a sector watch at the beginning, and I was like, whoa, Caesars is down 6, and the space didn't seem like it was that bad. So I just got out of C3AI. I kind of got up. I had a stop order anyways just to protect myself, but it got out here. We'll give about just under 10%. Actually, yeah, it's about 10% of what we had already on C3AI. And the reason I'm going to have tighter stops is the closer you get to 20, where I think the bounce is, and it got to 2050 and found resistance. The closer it gets to that level, the tighter the stops need to become. Because if you think that's a bounce zone and a support level, then as you're working the trend into it, at some point it's like, no, if you think there's a long down here or support down here, you don't want to be overly aggressive. Like, would I be short in 2025? No. 2040s? No. Above 2050? Yes, but very, very tight stops on that kind of a trade. Just be very, very careful down here. I think that 20 is something, and it might be catching a bid as we speak. It still has over 20% short interest. It's a big short interest on this, and a lot of shorts need to cover. I see a lot of questions, or at least maybe Doogie here asking about Netflix.
Okay.
I don't mind. I'm at a reload zone, and I'm on the offer to get more shares into Coinbase up here at that VWAP, but I haven't been filled just yet. But Netflix, look, it had the big pullback. It had that big pullback that we had yesterday and another dip in here. There's the 50 period on the daily. It's at the 333.70 or 334-ish. And we bounced in front of it again. Like the last time this happened, I remember 335 we liked. So it's just, it was about the same thing. Yeah, I remember. We had this was the day. I went long here and I went long here. Guess which one was better when you actually go long in front of the support level and not too early. That was the one that was better. And it bounced all the way back to 50, failed 50, bounced in exactly the same spot, 336. A double top, rejecting that 350. I'd be watching out for a 335 flat bottom break potentially tomorrow, but a strong move up there, a little bit of a reversal. I still think the bigger levels are the 50. I don't like this in the middle here. I don't know what I'd be doing trading the stock here. I know what I'd be doing up at that 350. I think you can play both ways off of 335. The long's definitely been good when it gets to that level. Just watch out below. Like Netflix has been on a nice recovery upward trend, but it's a lower high on the daily. If it fails the 50 period, I think there's going to be a short opportunity in there if that were to happen in the next upcoming days. I just said I was about to get Coinbase. Where's my fill? No, not quite to VWAP. So yeah, I'll wait. Like 10, 15 cents higher. That's where the good fills have been shorting 40s and 45s, not necessarily chasing it down to 30. You're just throwing away an extra 15 cents there. Allow it to come to you. The market's catching a bit of a bid here, so I'll let this one come back into me, and hopefully we'll get some NVIDIA. Nope, NVIDIA doesn't want VWAP. If NVIDIA is going to fail VWAP, I might, I said I'd try to roll into this short. I just want to find my out here. 65, I guess, is going to be my out, just from what I saw, so that's pretty reasonable if I can get a price of 40s, at least on NVIDIA. Not sure we see those 268s again. And if we're not going to see 268s again and we trend down, then I want to take the next consolidation short, have my stop just above here. I took one entry at 38s. I'll take another one pretty much at VWAP here, like 55, 60, and then I'll stop out just above that 75 mark.
All right, guys, I hope you guys are enjoying the show here. I'm about to go longer right now. So, okay, let's just talk. So I want to go long. I mean, Apple right now is $1 in the money, so we got some good diamond hands on this one for sure. As, you know, again, we got out of a lot of them, but we're going to get out of some more right now if it hits 25. Why? Because I like long right now on Apple. So if we could break through right here, 165.33, whatever this top is right there, move this. It's right here. So I already have it in for 32, 33 break. So if we get up, there it is. Let's take it. Let's take that dollar right there. Put some money in our pocket right here for Apple right there. So that was a great trade for me. All right, Alibaba right now. If we take 99, we down on that one. We'll make sure we put that 60 cents in our pocket. We did leave some on the table, but that is completely fine. And then AMD as well, man. If that breaks through this level there, 32s, then we're gone. And we're just going to try an Apple long. I mean, we just bounced off 1340 there. Now we are in the Apple long. So attention, everybody. We have a new position on the board right now. It's AAPL, and it is LONG. So let's wait to see what happens here for Apple. I don't know. Hopefully we didn't get too excited right now on this trade. But again, it's not a full position. It's something that I want to hold into the close. Let's see if this can work. Oh, man. The only problem is we got to respect that 163. There's been some dip down here into 93, 94. Maybe we could just get out if it breaks lower than that. Maybe a 90 break or something with a possible average in of a little bit more shares down here at 08. So let's wait to see. We're in the Apple long right now. Let's see if it can explode back up to the upside. We already have our targets to get out. Here it's going. It's going to start to go, hopefully. Where's a target for this? I mean, VWAP is 50. I feel like silly if we don't take something out there. These are the same levels. So yeah, VWAP 50. We'll take something out there on Apple if it gets up that high. But it is a new position alert right now. It's Apple, and we're going to put some offers right now around that 50 mark. See if we can take something out there and watch. Let's watch Apple start to try to climb to the upside a little bit.
So I just showed you, I'm going to get to Intel in a quick second, but I just got in on NVIDIA. Immediately, it took out that support level, but I'm not going to fight it at this time of day. It's almost 3:30, by the way, so only 30 minutes to go. We have to be flat at the end of the day. If it's going to give me that curl, fair enough. I like the risk to reward, but if you're going to risk 30 cents, you're going to risk 30 cents, and that was what that trade was. If we get back up to 68, I still like that short. We have to get there first, otherwise it's not going to be in there. Oh, Tesla's making some moves here. Finally, Tesla's making moves. But I wanted to get to Intel, which could take out the top any second. That support, I have my trailing stop down here. I'm just going to start taking the fills in the low 70s in addition to having a trailing stop underneath it. And if it blows out the top, I'm looking for that to get me out. When it takes out the high, stops running, I want that to trigger me because 33 is overhead. And when there's overhead resistance, I want to be getting out of Dodge instead of getting into it. I might take one more crack at C3AI if it fails 21 here. Other than that, I think the out where I got the trail, I think that's the big stop. So over 21 with that 21.30 where it rolled over the last time, I think that's probably the last-ditch effort. I don't think we're getting the long in 20 today in C3AI. It's running out of time to do it, but it got pretty darn close. I mean, when you're saying you can go to 20 and it's at $24 in the morning, I think we all sort of looked at that level on the daily and realized it was going to be some kind of a long at some point. Just didn't quite get there. Sometimes the better trades doesn't get to that price. It's like if it gets to 20, it's not as good. When it doesn't get to 20, not as many people have loaded up, less people trying to get out on the offer, more people taking profits at that particular point on their shorts, and you get a decent move off the bottom.
All right, man. Yeah, we're not good. I mean, good out on NVIDIA. You don't want to be in there for too long. I don't know if this market's going. I mean, I'm already biased because I just took a long there in Apple, and we've got out of all of our shorts. I mean, this is called. Like, if this is not, like, this is day trading, man. It's like you get in, you take it out, you wait to see if it wants to crank lower, it doesn't. You have your outs, you get out, have the ability to switch up your game plan a little bit. You know, we'll still hold on to this Alibaba short. It looks like it's trying to resist 99s, but it's getting very close there. You know my target is right here, so if it goes outside and gets upside, then we're out of that one for sure. And that's what you got to do, man. Sometimes you got to put on that hat and take it the other way, but I don't know if it's going to be right. Apple just went to 40, you know, so like it only went up, what are we long, 33s? So yeah, it only went 7 pennies in the money. Now it's against us 3 pennies, and I'm starting to question myself. So yeah, we're going to wait on this one. We have one. I mean, I want to use the 50 period as an out, so I feel like that's probably the best thing to do, just to save a little bit in case we do come back. But then I am noticing that we do have these wicks down here to 90s. So maybe that's a little bit better, but if you are getting nervous about this, generally I do use the 50 period as an out, so you could save yourself a little bit there if you decide to use that as your out. But coming back into 63, maybe you average into the long there, then get out at 63. I'm going to take it a little bit different, try to get some shares in here if we do come down, and then use that as our out. We could be wrong. I mean, look at the NASDAQ, just failed off that 50 period right there. So that's why I told you the position sizing on some of these, and I told you like on AMD it was like a starter position. So it's the same thing here on Apple. Hopefully it will rip to the upside. We have enough that we can make money, so that's fine, but who knows how much money we're going to make on this trade. So let's just wait for it, be as patient as we possibly can here, and then just move on. So right now it's Apple. We have the long, and that's really what I'm sort of resting on. Alibaba does resist that 99, so we're still in that one. We're still in the KRE, but we did get out of AMD, and that's not looking good right there either, right? But as I said, we got to have some targets for our positions, and right now we flipped over into the long with Apple.
Yeah, I mean, Apple's been, when Apple catches a bid lately, it's just been really deep. It's been really solid, man. You find like the trend in some stocks are better than others, but you know what's, I just watched a little bit of a bounce in the market. So I got the reload on VWAP and Coinbase, just getting my bids in here. And the closer we get to the end of the day, the less I think we're getting the low of the day. Like I'll play inside the range the tighter we get to this to the close. But I just looked over at Meta. Okay, give me my first fill on coin in a second. But Meta is still going down. Even in that last little bounce that we're getting here, Meta is down 2% and still selling off. So I see some relative weakness in Meta. I know I was waiting for 212. But might just need to find a better way to get into this. Low of the day is still that 210 level that Sean talked about, that wick bottom. Might be running out of time to catch that bounce, but it has to, to get there, it's got to go another 40 cents. I'd much rather be shorting off 211s and then have myself an out at quarters instead of shorting here. You can't put up 80 cents of risk to get 40 cents into that 210 level if there's going to be a bounce there. But Meta, certainly relatively weak. Just notice that. Was able to get that first out on coin. If I take more ins, they can only be at 50 to 55, and I'll be tightening up the stop as we go. Just checking back in on Tesla. I know a lot of people still have that wick. I can't really get rid of it. It's not really going for some reason. Yeah, Tesla, you know what? I thought it was moving a little more than this. It's not even close to VWAP here. You know what? I thought maybe there was a long on Tesla when I checked it the last time, thinking it could break in, had room to VWAP, maybe 187, but I'm not really seeing that anymore. Sometimes you look at a stock, it looks pretty good, you come back 5 minutes later, and it's not setting up the way you thought it was going to continue to do so. So I'm not going to force the trade in something that I don't really see. I know I like NVIDIA if it gets back up to 268, that's for sure. I know I like to add Intel. I wasn't really adding to any of the longs, but I do like it in front of that 70. I can capture the range here. If we get to 350 and this hasn't broken the high, I'll just get out at the high on Intel. What else is out there? I know every time I look at a small cap, it's just ridiculous, and it just flushes. Oh, Dutch Brothers. Bros, Darwin, thank you, Darwin. You're cleaning up on the points. Good betting. Congratulations on all that. Everyone got a free roll today because Wall's going to close negative. But they report tonight. Wait a minute. No, they got an upgrade today. Was it an upgrade or a downgrade? They were on the board. I remember they were on the board, And that just made another flush in just now to the downside. I wanted to bring this up because we're talking about setups on Ford in the daily chart. Dutch Brothers, 8 or 9 days in a row to the upside. The 50 and the 200 period, basically the same spot and rolling over today. It just gave this up, so it was above both, gave that up, lower high beneath. That's the kind of like trending back into the low that you can see set up. And look at that 27 level as well. Like gorgeous bottom at 27, but shorts off 33s. They'll break at 33. That's the level on the daily. Always look at the higher time frame chart because 33 short looks a heck of a lot better when you look at the daily chart. And then you're looking for a trend the next couple of days into 27 or maybe the next week. So good shout out there. I knew there was something from this morning. It wasn't earnings. It was upgrades and downgrades. It was a name that I had looked at that I had forgotten to go over. So shout out to you, Darwin, for bringing it to me. I don't remember if it was an upgrade or a downgrade. I don't care. It was on the list, so I looked at the stock and was like, oh, that could be an interesting short if it gets up here to the 50 period. And it got close. It didn't quite get there. But you got to keep these out there and have your alerts set. Someone in the chat said it's a no-brainer short on Coinbase. I think it was more no-brainer earlier than it is right now because it's 335. It was a heck of a lot more of a no-brainer earlier on in the day, but you're seeing the range is getting tighter. If it breaks this to the upside, there's a huge gap to be filled. And let's not forget, coin is right here, right now. The 200 period moving average is at 60, and it's kind of bouncing off that 60 level. A close beneath it would have been huge. Right now, it's not going to close beneath that 200 period moving average. It's just absolutely teetering on it as we speak. So
Apple.
I wanted this closing 60 because then you're just shorting it for days into 50, but that might not happen here.
All right, well, unfortunately, Apple, we just took some out. Oops, I'm on AMD right now. Apple, we just took some 40s. Like, I don't know what to tell everybody. We took 10% out at 40. I'm hoping that we can go a little bit more. I just put another 10% at 43. I mean, we're here for it. If it goes, man, it's going to be a big trade. And, yeah, we could get back to green today for sure, which would be very, very surprising for me. But, you know, not surprised that we're green. I think we said we had 5 or 6 red days last month. So, you know, we'll see about that this month. But for right now, there goes Apple. Apple's the #1 profitable stock on the show today, followed by Microsoft. I also have the 2 biggest losers in Google and Palantir. But because, you know, we're trading multiple names and we've had a fantastic second half of the day here, we'll see if we can catch it off with Apple right now and just let this go. Hopefully it can go. We got our 43s in. I still have 80% of this position. Like, I mean, hopefully it can go up to the upside. I don't want to just scalp it out, but we are bouncing. Yeah, I have some bad wicks on, not bad wicks, but I guess they're just dark.
There are a bunch of them.
Yeah, that happens at, that was 11:30. I don't know what's going on with that. But yeah, we're just at VWAP right now. So VWAP, the true VWAP here on our system anyways is 48s. So I don't know how high we got right there. I mean, I guess I can zoom in exactly. Oh, we got as high as 45. All right, I'll put another 10% at 40. I'll put 20% at 46 just to see if we can get that fill. If it does come back up, here it comes. Hopefully it will come up and get us a fill right now. This is just a 1-minute chart, man. We're heading into the close. Oh, I didn't even notice what Brendan wrote. Did you even mention this? 190.
I did not.
You did not. Okay, good. So well, it doesn't matter. 191 to be right now. Buy. Not billions, not nothing like that. It's 191 to buy right now on the market on close and balance. So I'll take a buy. We only are short KRE right now, which we're out of. Like, I literally have that same 10%. Like, we just took this short. There's probably even more than 9 outs here. I don't even know. But we only have 10% left anyways right now. I feel like just holding this name. I mean, maybe you can get out if it takes this wick out 10, something like that. But for right now, I mean, I'm obsessed and watching Apple. I'm going to take a 44 and cancel that 46 right there. Okay, so we took a 44, canceled the 46. I do have another offer at 48 where the true VWAP is. We'll put another 10% there. Yes, sir, let's go, man. Let's go. Like, this means a lot, hopefully for me anyways here. Moving back up to the upside. If it could take out this 50, man, we're getting ready to go. So let's go, Apple. Let's go to the upside right now. This is another call that we gave you. You know, took the dollar on our first position, and then we just went long again there on Apple. Right there. This is getting out of our long. This is not a sell. This is a sell, not a short sell. Because we were long down here at 163.20s, or 30s, sorry. That's an out right there at 163.30. That's 90 cents. And now we're long again on Apple, but a little bit higher. So let's see if this will go up there. $1 billion to buy on Wall. Yeah, I don't think that's the case. But if you guys have early looks,
No, but
no,
come
we
on.
don't. No, someone put that in there. I don't think it's.
Usually you don't actually see imbalance on those. So I did get stopped out. Even if it ends up working the short on Coinbase, like I said, it was higher lows the whole way through. There's a limit to how many times you're going to short the same level before it stops out, and that's the last time there. So always going to keep the risk to reward tight. I felt like it's been a good disciplined day, and I don't want to throw it away. I'd like those shorts, but I think we're getting a bit of a reversal here, at least at the end of the day. Wall, by the way, this stock, it did catch a bit of a bid, but unless it goes 10% in the next 20 minutes, it's still going to be red on the day, down 11%. You know what? It never even got back to the high after the halt. It got to 31 bucks. It bounced off 29. How gorgeous is the?
Yeah.
Oh my God,
Those
the 20,
bottoms are nice.
No, the 20. Look at the 29 level here. I haven't been paying attention to the stock since the halt up, but look at the 29 level on Wall. That was pretty darn good. 29 to 30. It gave you that at least twice, and you want to have it. I really only have Intel left. I do still like it. Let's see what happens. I mean, the market's trying to break higher. I only like if I take anything else short, I only like NVIDIA. Well, at the levels that I'm seeing anyways, like that 268. We stopped out here. So, okay, that's my entry. If it rolls back over, I like the risk to reward. But the next short has to be up tight to 268. Out first, know where my out is, and then I have to get the fill that I want. Otherwise, I'm not going to be forcing trades. It's not the way to work. Stephen Gregg, why did AI tank today? So yesterday there was a short seller.
Daniel.
Well, because okay, look, I'm not saying this. The short seller report happened yesterday. Why did it tank today? I'm just going to say continuation for the short seller report that was yesterday. Specifically, I'm not going to. I don't know. That's what makes sense to me. It sold off like a bat out of hell because of potential accounting issues, and aggressive accounting is the words that was used by the short seller report. And it just continued today. It broke support, and it just continued to flush. If you look at the daily on the stock, it had been breaking out in a big way, and it's just come right back in to where it settled down the last time. Every time it would get to 30, it would get back to 20, and then back to 30. It's just that this time there was a little more AI hype around it, or squeeze play through the 30 level, and then the short seller report, aptly timed, dropped right after it made a fresh high. Go figure. You know darn well they were short. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's just, no, it is what it is. It is what it is. It's just like, it comes right after it makes a fresh high because timing does matter. And I suppose they're in it to make money too. Like, they're fools if they're compiling this report and know what they're going to drop. Like, they'd be fools not to drop it here because you're allowed to. Right? Like, you're not going to drop it here. You're going to wait until it makes a fresh high and you build more shorts up above resistance to drop it back into here. So that's when it's going to come out. Say what you want about it, but people are going to do things because if it makes money and you're allowed to do it, they're going to do it. And I'm not going to hate on it. It provides us with trading opportunities at the end of the day. How dirty you think it is? Fair enough. Write your congressperson if you're in the States, or however that works. Intel, second last trade, unless we get a little bit of action in NVIDIA. I had a trail on this. If it gets to 345, I'll cancel the bid and just get out at the high of the day. 32.50 is the entry. I'll like it tomorrow. I liked it today. It went under. I was patiently waiting for it. I did go long once over. I waited for it to get under, and when it reclaimed the level, I got in. I said it over and over again. Sometimes I prefer to play those levels after the bounce. Join the move. You don't have to always make the move. If you like a price level, don't be afraid to catch that same level on the way back up, as opposed to catching it as a falling knife. Ooh. That was my mistake here on Palantir. And it happens to you sometimes. You don't always have to catch a falling knife. Be a little more patient.
Oh, we should have reloaded there. We were waiting for a little bit more on Apple, but we'll take that as it just comes right back up. Like, I was like, oh, that 50 period, we could have had it. Then what would we be doing right now? But yeah, that's a good out for us, back on for Apple. Now we hold. We hold into the close, and that's that for Apple. No more worries. If it comes back down and wants to break 163, I'm going to take more shares if it comes back down here, and watch out for that 162.90. Let's go, USO, whatever. Let's go, man. I told you, we're just adding right now. Apple, the #1 play here, and it is Rip City right now. I mean, I hope you guys are enjoying the afternoon show. If you want to talk about the trades that I've done here in the afternoon, this 99.60, this speaks for itself. That AMD trade as well, boom, to the downside. That was a great one right there. The Apple trade that we're in right now as Apple continues to go higher. I'm going to take out one more. I said we'd hold to the close. I'm going to put something at 58 here just to get a piece out if it just continues to go upside. We have 75 right there. That's 80 actually. Hopefully that can come through. The problem is we're dealing with the unknown of the imbalances coming out, and I try not to be in this. Thank you so much, T-Daddy. This is what we're talking about, man. Bang. Thank you so much, T-Daddy, for that, man. That's what we're talking about every single day. We're a team here. You know, we congratulate each other, and I don't mind, honestly, talking all about the losing trades that I had on board today. I've already told you, man, I have the 2 biggest losers, but they're back with the 2 biggest winners, and that's trading, man. That's what you're going to do. That's how I trade, but at the same time, you never want to have losers on board, and that sucks to have them. Let's check back in on the one loser. Palantir hasn't done jack in the afternoon. So I got way too excited about this one early. It fell down, it bounced off $8, and that is that. But it's 344 right now. We're waiting for these imbalances to fill out. These are all, just to show you guys, you know, these are all from 9:30. Whatever Rev was right there, I don't know why we just clicked on NYCB there. We'll click on Palantir. But these will all update, right? They'll all update at 9:30 tomorrow, but at 3:50 today. They'll update again. So we'll get these right now and see what's going on with those market on close imbalances. I always outsource ARCA. I mean, I guess there was a NASDAQ, or there was a NYSE Amex name.
It was,
you were like,
for the love of Buru.
Buru? Oh, Buru. It was Buru.
B-U-R-U.
That's a funny name, Buru. Yeah, so that should show up there as well. But there it is right
there
now,
goes
man.
NVIDIA.
There goes NVIDIA.
So someone just asked a question: why did I not short Meta at 211? Because it wasn't as key a level as NVIDIA. But also, how is it coming in? How is it coming in when it gets there? The market was screaming to the upside, so you don't have to go into the short until it starts to curl over. NVIDIA was at the high, not the high of the day, but the high of the move this afternoon was 268. So that was at that key level. The key level for me on Meta is 212. So if I'm going to take like a B setup, then I'm going to be patient with a B setup. If I'm taking A setup, I'm just going to take it. And that's the reality. Like, I'm going to take every single trade that sets up, and then the cost of doing business, why am I long NVIDIA? Don't want to have 2 stops. The cost of doing business is just taking losses. Like, that's the reality. Like, when you say you don't want to have any losing trades on, you're going to have losing trades. I don't care who you are. You're definitely going to have them. Just, did you have the setup that you want, and did your risk to reward work? And if your risk to reward is good, then you should be positive more days than you are not. And that's really what you want to look for. But yeah, I said this before. It matters how it's coming in to that price area if you're taking that B setup. And I don't think Meta at 211 is a B. Had we still been looking weak in the market, I'd probably take it. It's also very close to 350. I don't like putting on new trades right before 350, generally speaking. I think on the backside of it, it's a little bit better. I said if Intel did not break by 350, I would get out of it. It's not breaking. See, look at it. Every single time, this just rejects the high. I'm going to take a hint. Intel just keeps rejecting 3288. I don't know why that level, but it's not 33. It just so happens to be 3288. That's just how it is sometimes. So I'm out of it. If I get into something, it's going to be post 350, looking for like an imbalance reversal. And remember what I said about Coinbase? Just get out of Dodge. Get out. You don't have to short that level every single time. You don't have to hold it through. Take your out and just walk away. That's how you can preserve your capital, guys. And realistically, that's what everything is about. It's about finding the A-plus setups, taking them, but knowing where you're wrong and getting out. I think we're going to get, it said a small buy imbalance. Spider Sense tells me if it grows any, you could see a 13-1 break. That's where you can engineer some longs.
All right. Yeah, so again, we'll hit some more bangers out for you here. Like I said, man, it's been a great. We're now 7-2 today on our names. But, you know, there's the Apple trade. We actually get that 58. So now we're only in a third of Apple. Willing to hold this all the way now into that close. I don't have anything else. If there's anything else you guys want me to do.
Virgin Orbit has news that will matter.
Vorb has news?
It almost doubled up this afternoon.
Okay. You know what was that news, I wonder?
They're working on a cash injection. Lawyers are working on a cash injection on the bankruptcy call now. blah, 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 blah. Debtor in possession of financing of around 31 million. Doesn't seem like a lot, but I mean, they're just trying to survive at this point. But it did almost double up here. If I paid for locates to short this, if it got to 25 cents, maybe it does make a move back in. That said, I probably want to dig back in more into what's happening here, up 28% now. But, I mean, this stock, it's probably still going to go under, is my guess. But until you know more,
declared bankruptcy.
It's going under. It's just they're dragging it out. And the longer it takes to drag out, the more short squeezes you can have.
This is bankrupt. I mean, 19 cents. But yeah,
they said they're closing up operations.
You never know. Yeah, I'd be careful if you guys were trading SPCE. That's not a name that I would favor in this environment. But all right, Brendo.
It looks like nothing has actually happened. They're just talking about it. So, I mean, it seems like the stock's moving on just this talk. So nothing confirmed, nothing has actually been done or achieved or anything. So just be careful with VORB.
Right. Today's 52-week high list includes, I'm loving it, it's McDonald's. We were just going to talk about that earlier. As it just made, this is a big one. I own this in my portfolio. I mean, like, I've been managing my own portfolio since probably, I was going to say, I don't know if it was before I started here. I've been here 22 years, something like that. I was going to say probably since about 20 years old. And McDonald's is one that we were buying. We've been buying J&J, all the big ones, man, for a very, very long time. Prado was asking me where I was long Microsoft. I remember buying that name in the 30s and 40s as it was just doing nothing for the longest time. Those of you know about Microsoft, so that's a little different. And that's why I tell these young guns, man, like everybody, Fahad over here, Prad. I mean, look what I've told Prad to buy. Apple's at those bottoms, Microsoft, and he's right there buying them. He bought TD Bank on the cheap as well, which is a great thing to do as well. And what was it? There's another one that he got that was pretty good. GitLab was you. Yeah, I was going to say GitLab was his call. I thought it was going up. It's getting wrecked apparently, so I don't advise those kind of plays, but that's okay. We all have them anyways. I like Palantir. That's been the mistake for sure. All right, with only 5 seconds to go right now, we do have the Imbalance Locator ready to come out, brought to you by Day Trade the World. This is the Imbalance Locator right now. We're going to wait for Brendo to figure out where exactly this was right now, but we don't need McDonald's. Let's go to something that we have. All right, right now, Apple will watch this one. It is, Brandon's going to write it out right now. I don't see anything that's any...
Nothing.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't see anything at all. It's 850 million to buy, which is a decent number, but I mean... Is this ChatGPT? No, CHPT, just joking. UiPath right there, another Kathy Woodstock that has gone the way of a graveyard AM. I remember getting in and out of that name live on the show at $38, if you guys remember that. Some of you might be here for that. I don't think anything else, man. There's Google's a buy. So finally a name just popped up there that I recognize. I mean, we recognize all of them, but that's one there. Before I throw it back to Neil, I just want to look at J&J quickly. Holy shat, that's a good one for me, man. We'll go bang on this one as well because I put some more in the old PA today at 163, even in the pre-market here. So I was, this is the pre-market trade that went well. Buying this J&J bottom, man. We also got some family money to work on J&J today as well. So that's a nice one, nice move to the upside. So yeah, really happy with the performance today. And yes, sir, Apple, what a great way to end the day, man. We almost, I don't think I'm going to get green. I could if Apple really goes, but good day here today. What a battle back, man. I'm actually pretty proud of myself, to be honest with you.
GFB is what we used to call. Well, I mean, I guess people don't use that term anymore on the trading floor. A gain from the bottom. Sometimes it's more satisfying. It's weird as a trader. It's more satisfying if you keep yourself alive when you have a bad morning and get back into the green or build it back. Trust me, it is more satisfying because it means you were disciplined enough not to get stuffed out in the first place. We did see that report. AK in the chat there. We were talking about the Bloomberg report that said TD Bank was one of the most, if not the most shorted of the banks. And yes, they have a lot of U.S. exposure. TD is a Canadian bank. Oh, I always do this. Let me go to New York here. I own shares at TD, so it's my gut instinct to call it up in Toronto, but I can call it up in New York. It's the same thing. Chart's the same thing. Look at the reversal it could be putting back in. It's got an obvious support level. I think if it breaks that support, dollar cost averaging in is going to make sense if you happen to like those banks. And as far as GitLab goes, I pulled it up only because we just talked about it. Look what this stock just did. There was a setup that Michael Noss talked about where it's you have the big flush down. There's your big volume day. It drops like 40% or whatever it was. pulls back in, doesn't fill in the gap, has the consolidation there, and then you kind of consolidation out, break down to the low. It does have an interesting setup there. I didn't realize this had happened on GitLab, to be honest with you. Like, what was I doing? Did we even say anything about this on March 13th when GitLab was down $18 in a single session? I don't remember that, but that's kind of crazy. Closing it out at the end of the day, Coinbase still going to the high. AI, it's right at 21. I think there might be a long, like, if AI breaks and doesn't hold 20, it's got $3 room to the downside. I'm there, you know, the shorts are fantastic beneath it, but I still think this can catch a bit of a bid. So if there's a long to be had, it's almost like it has to be at the $20 level tomorrow morning or some point tomorrow. I have no idea when it'll be. And if it can't hold, maybe like a 1975, you start looking for the short back into 17 even, maybe even like 16s. This is not over. C3AI, might, even if it consolidates for a day or two, this one ain't over. You want to take a shot at it at some point. And also, I'd still be shorting pops on VORB. That news maybe doesn't seem like anything to me. It's just, it's short covering, little short squeezing. I think you still short the pops in a resistance. That's 25 for now. And if it goes again, that's 40.
Fahad over there asked me, he's practicing over here, and he asked me for a trade, and I told him the same thing I told every single one of you guys, Apple long. I know he has NVIDIA long over there, but this was an I mean, we took this right with everyone. Every single person there, we took this trade. I mean, I don't know if you guys took it or not, but this was another one. So we're going to go 4 for 4 here on the afternoon show for everybody. And again, please hit the like button. I mean, Katrine's not here, but...
Hola, like and subscribe today.
You know. Hola, Katrine, right now. But yeah, hit the like button. I think I'm going to get another piece out here at 78. That was just that high. That was just made there. So, I mean, sometimes trading could be difficult, and sometimes it just feels like you're just hitting them. So today, we're hitting them. So there it is again, another one. Nice move to the upside here for Apple as it's continuing to climb, climb, climb. So this is going to be a good way to end the show here today with another one for you. Let's just check out Alibaba. Where's that name right now? And like, we got out at 99. Look at it just continue to fall. I mean, if you're still in this one, like, look at this. It's so nice. We hit it twice right there on Alibaba. Unfortunately, we were really close. Like, we were waiting at 70s there to get a lot more shares, but there it is. It's a nice dump down for Alibaba. Nice downside move, and yes, sir. Oh man, we're basically going to be as good as flat on the day, which is like, whew. For that one, as we've battled all the way back. Look at this trade here for Apple. If we held them all, it would be a different story, but we'll just add it right now. Like I said, man, we really hit Apple. It was a great trade today, just continuing to climb right now into the close. I mean, I'll take another piece at 88. You know, we keep getting out. It just keeps on ripping to the upside, but this is a decent one right now for Apple. Well, Fahad, what do you have on, man? And this guy's losing his mind over there. What do you have? NVIDIA, what price? All right, Prad's going to show it. What is that price? I can't see.
266.
266.80. Very nice. So we'll go bang for you on that one. Thanks, Fahad, for filling us in on that one. What a banger right there for you. Of course, that's going to be sim money.
Well, that's fine.
You know,
you start out on sim.
Yeah, exactly. Start out on sim, but this is you know, there's a lot of traders. You need to start on sim.
Everybody starts. Everybody at Day Trade the World starts on sim mode. Every single trader that you see on the floor, behind us, or wherever comes through the door, at some point you start in a simulator because at the prop floor you earn the right to trade. Trade company capital. I just checked out a couple of names of the imbalances. There's nothing to be seen.
Fonzie.
UiPath, it's almost pairing off and it's not making a big move. I kind of thought you get a sell imbalance on look, we talk trashy tech, and you start thinking there could be a trade on it, but it didn't even move. I would have thought this could have been something you could put on at the end of the day. A sell and bounce on UiPath down 4%, but it's not moving to the downside, so I won't put that one on. I don't think there's going to be anything. There's not always something when it comes to these imbalances, even if it is a little bit significant, and it's only a $16 stock. That's the other way to think about it, too. So not much of a move there in UiPath. Only 3 minutes to go here. Bros is still dropping, says Steve G. It doesn't necessarily surprise me. I think that's a good setup for tomorrow. Wish I had looked at it off those upgrades and downgrades. Whether it was an upgrade or downgrade, I really don't care. It's just, you know what? Sometimes if it's a weak stock and it gets an upgrade, maybe that's a good place to fade it. Like weak overall stock starts getting toward a resistance level after 8 days in a row. If it was an upgrade at that point, sometimes that gives you extra juice for the short to get a lot of those exits. Someone in the chat just said they like exit liquidity. People like being exit liquidity. It is so true. And that's buying tops like this and getting stopped out. That's your alpha for the short trade on bros. Good one there, Steve G.
All right. Yeah, thank you guys for watching again, man. Big day today. I don't know. I don't know what else to tell you guys. I mean, here's Apple. It's a nice one. I just hope everyone's enjoyed the show. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, or don't. But you know, it's been a good one. I'm just getting out now. I mean, here's Apple. It's an absolute monster winner. We've talked about it. It's the last thing that's on. You don't have anything.
Oh, Canada.
Yeah, it's the last thing that's on the board. Yeah, we can hit
Why?
Canada for sure.
Okay, we can.
There it is. Man.
I don't know why
What's up,
people
Ponzi,
are just
Fonzie?
putting
What's
it in
up,
the
Tony
chat.
Price, TLO Enterprises, everybody. God bless you all. Hey, it's Easter,
Yes,
man.
sir.
Yeah, let's
It
go.
is Easter.
That one tomorrow. Thank you, Tony, wherever Tony is. What's up to Tony? You know, that's my guy there, Tony, man. Wish he was still around. Then I want an oh my God. You want an oh my God, Steve G?
Oh my God.
I need those
There
back.
it is right there. Yeah, it's Tony the Tiger, man. My guy, Tony. Wishing him the best. I'm actually going to message that guy, see what's going on right there. All right, I was just waiting for 164 on Apple. It's at 163.90 right now off of this move. It was a big one, obviously. There it is right there, the long. There's the long. This is why Apple's the #1 today. Boom, boom, boom. Just great trades off the bottom. And I left it alone all morning. It was an epic fall, man. This morning was pretty bad until we got to 13,000 and the market stopped on a dime at 13,000 and then started to go back up. So here's 90s. I'm at 99 right now with only 45 seconds left to go. Yo, Fahad, you want to ring the bell? You want to close out that
Who's
trade
gonna
or
be
what?
on the bell?
Right now. So we're getting ready to rock and roll. I might as well get another. I mean, we're at 99. Let's get some 95s right now on Apple if we can. And there we go. We will get that one. And that's that. Ready to close this show out now with only 20 seconds to go. It is going to be
Somebody on the bell.
Yes,
and
it is.
Wall's falling, by the way. This gives everything up in the last few seconds. If it breaks 29, that'd be pretty epic. It's not going to close green, so if you got the bets, if you bet under on that, you've definitely got your points winning. But there goes Fahad in 5, 4, 3, 2, and ring it. There we go. And by the way, yeah, you're right, Dr. J. Tesla was making some moves into the close as well. But was just watching that WAL start to give a little bit up here. We're going to go to Brendan and see how the market did. It's not always how it ends up. Sometimes it's more about the momentum. And we didn't end on the lows today. It's down 1%, so technically it's still the bear. But we did not end on the lows, which is always a better sign.
I just realized my board just got all disoriented here, but it's okay. We'll figure it out. We're sorting by name or country name, anyways, for this afternoon. Here's the TSX in Toronto, down 0.5%. U.S. markets though down here. S&P 0.25%. The Russell 1, 2, and 3,000. It's the 2,000 that leads to the downside once again today. There's the NASDAQ Composite down 1 full percent when all is said and done. That is the 100 down there, 1.01. The composite there, 1.07. That's the actual index. Russell 1, 2, and 3,000, as I said, all negative. Some regional banks in that 2,000. Bit of a problem again today. But hey, whatever these are, we're positive on the day, guys.
Whatever these are, we're positive on the day. No, you know, look, we talked. One of the reasons I really love when Brendan does Sector Watch is you get to see, like, we're going to be trading a lot of tech or like small caps that are moving, and in Sector Watch, you get to see what is going. And healthcare had a monster day today. JJ had a good day. Pfizer had a good day. UNH, those kind of things were moving. And you know what? They were good longs for a day trade. We don't usually day trade them, but a lot of them were good longs. And shout out to everyone in the chat that was mentioning that. What did we? I don't know. Anyways, I saw a couple people in the chat talking about the points. But I think we're going to figure out that battle thing. I lost a couple of battles to a couple of people in the afternoon show, which I'm angry about Bears versus Bulls. I want my points back. I want my 10 points, brother.
All right. Good show today, man. Thanks, Brendo. Thanks to Midday guys. Thanks, Mahad. Thanks, Brad. Thanks, Fahad. Yeah, thanks, Sharif, Max, everybody there. What a good day. You want to wrap? You want to say anything here, Brendo, before we wrap it up?
As it has been, I mean, we're teetering on a negative week, but still chance. Obviously, last day coming up tomorrow, still a chance to get back to green.
All right. Yeah, we'll see. Do you know what we're down on the week?
I was just double checking. It's not a lot, but I mean, it's been relatively quiet overall. But I'll let you know tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay. We'll figure that out for you guys. Yeah, it feels kind of a flattish week. I don't know. To me, like some days we're pumping the long, some days we're pumping the
0.4.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's dead flat.
No, down.
Down. Okay, yeah. So that's
Yeah.
good. Was that the NASDAQ or the ES?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Yeah, NASDAQ
no,
probably a little more than that down.
No, the NASDAQ, we closed, I mean, essentially flat when I look at the chart.
Okay. Yeah, so tomorrow's going to be the deciding day. Needless to say, I don't think the market will stand still. But maybe expect a little bit less volume tomorrow, heading into, of course, a long weekend. I'm off Monday, Tuesday, but here tomorrow for sure. So that should be fun. And we'll be back tomorrow at 8:30. For Brendan, Neil, I'm Sean, and thanks to our whole team here. Thanks to Bears vs. Bulls, and most importantly, thanks to all of you, because without you, we don't have the show and your ideas. Thanks to everybody right there. What's up, Dame Does It? You're the one that's sharp, my guy. Thanks to everybody, and we will talk tomorrow at 8:30. See you then.